burns he knew from his own experience. Harris needed medical attention immediately.
We need to get you to the hospital and get these burns taken care of. Having been burnt myself, I kind of knew a little bit about this.
Beamer's own scars, which have faded some over time, come from burns he suffered when he was just a boy.
When I was 7 years old, as the gasoline fire was cleaning out the garage, and it ended up the gasoline exploded in my face, and brother there was there that got me to roll over and put the fire out, or I'm not sure I'd be here.
With third-degree burns, Beamer needed skin grafts to heal. The procedure took years.
I had like 30-some operations, and what we'd do is we'd go to the hospital for a week, have an operation, and then come home for a week during the summer, and then go back to the next week, and that's kind of how we did things.
In the emergency room, Harris was also told he would need skin grafts for his burns. Beamer went to Harris's hospital room then as a coach, but more so as an example, to share an experience far beyond football.
He was telling me about his scars and stuff like that and what happened to him. So I was like, I was asking questions, and he was just telling me stories like what happened and stuff like that. So I was like, dang, like that was like a bond right there. Like he felt my pain.
I was hoping that me telling him it's going to be okay, that he felt like it's going to be okay.
Over the next week, Harris received successful skin grafts on his hip and his right arm, and the healing process began. As for the decision about where he would play college football, it suddenly became easy.
I told Coach Branden in the bed, I'm going to be a Hokie.
I do think he knows I care about him a lot, and that I do have something in common with him. I'm not sure that's the reason he decided to come here, but I know I like this guy a lot.
Here's Victor Harris getting ready for the Maryland Terrapins. It's coming up at 7:30 Eastern right here on ESPN. The third-ranked Virginia Tech Hokies undefeated going into this contest.
Sports Center, brought to you by LA Rush. Pimped out, juiced up, flying high.
We greet you from College Park, Maryland. Tonight, in high definition, the Terps enter their house, Byrd Stadium, but a very tough foe awaits. One of the most tenured, most successful coaches in the country, Frank Beamer, bringing his Virginia Tech offense with quarterback Marcus Vick.
baby, today. Don't make a statement today, baby. Don't make a statement.
Question: what is Beamer ball?
Welcome to the Terror Dome, baby. Come on, baby, all day long. Keep pounding.
First, it's defense, quick, nasty, tenacious, turning turnovers to touchdowns on a weekly basis.
Ball comes loose. Touchdown.
Then it's special teams, where blocking kicks isn't just an added bonus, but a way of life.
And this one's blocked. They do it better than anybody in the country.
Finally, there's the quarterback, named Vick. This vintage Marcus, but the results in electricity are the same.
Vick making a little bit of magic. Touchdown.
Now Beamer ball has the Hokies undefeated, #3 in the land. Maryland has ripped off 3 wins in a row. They're armed and ready as junior Sam Hollenbach has the Terps primed to pull off an upset. Virginia Tech, Maryland in the ACC tonight. We go on College Football Primetime, presented by Cooper Tires. Our month of Thursdays in the ACC continues here at Maryland. It's a blackout. All the students in black, ready to see the Terrapins take on the #3 team in the country, the Virginia Tech Hokies. Welcome to the start of a good college football weekend. Mike Tirico, Kirk Herbstreit, Erin Andrews on the sideline. She joins us momentarily. After the wild weekend last week, now we have 7 unbeatens left in Division 1A. Texas and Texas Tech play this week. Another Tech, Virginia Tech on display tonight. They're #3. They're good again. Remember, they won the ACC last year. Little different feel this year. Defense is still there. Quarterback play is still there. But it's a very familiar set of initials. MV, not Michael Vick,
right.
but Marcus. How's Marcus doing?
Well, I think Marcus Vick has had to deal deal with the comparisons to his brother Michael Vick his entire life. I think he handles it very well. But if it's your first chance of seeing Marcus Vick, do not expect to see Michael Vick and the dynamic playmaking ability of Michael Vick. Not to say that Marcus doesn't have that in him, but he's done it a different way. He's doing it with his arm, distributing the football. He's second in the nation in passing efficiency, completing 68% of his passes. Tonight, it'll take that same effort, distributing the ball and letting the players around him make plays, which he has done a great job of up to this point.
Meantime, Ralph Regent's team's 4-2. Off to a good start. They've won their last 3 games, but boy, they've got something on their mind. 55-6, what Virginia Tech did to them last year. For more on that, let's go down to the field. Aaron Andrews speaking a few moments ago with the Maryland head coach.
All right, Coach, last season's game versus Virginia Tech, how much did that impact your preparation for tonight's game?
Well, you know, we worked very hard last year. What we did was turn the ball over, and we can't do that. And, you know, we try to hopefully learn from some of our mistakes, but it's a very good football team we're playing. We're going to have to play really well to beat them.
One positive note that came out of last season's game was that you found your quarterback. How much of a difference does Sam make for you this year?
Night and day. I mean, I'm hopefully going to have a good game tonight. He's going to have to play well for us to be in this thing, but I've been very proud of him, and it's really a great lesson because, you know, kids right today, when they don't succeed right away, they give up, and Sam never did that, and it's a great example of perseverance and what it can do for you. I'm very, very proud of that kid.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Aaron. Good stories don't happen without good plays, and Sam has made them. What is it about him that makes him good enough to run this offense?
Well, I think he is a quarterback that has made a commitment, as you heard his coach just talk about. He understands defenses, and in Ralph Regent's system, you have to have the ability to read a defense, recognize it, and have the ability to run and throw. Sam tonight's biggest challenge against an athletic defense is not make mistakes. Virginia Tech will be all over him. If he can avoid the mistakes, keep his team in a game, they have a chance to maybe pull off a surprise. And with this crowd and this atmosphere, this is their chance to try to get on the national scene.
Right, maybe Florida State last year, it wasn't a building block. Tonight could be a building block, but you can't build if you can't solve these guys. Jimmy Williams and the defense of Virginia Tech giving up 9 points a game. Reese Davis, Darryl Tapp is ready, so are we. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, Mike, that defense, they love to score. I tell you what, you know, despite the fact that Virginia Tech won the game last year 55-6, Ralph Regent still invited Frank Beamer to his July 4th party on Lake Oconee. Roll double nickels on the big fella again and see if that invitation shows up, Frank. We got a good one coming. Desmond Howard and Mark May alongside. We'll talk plenty of football momentarily, but once again, the weather wreaking havoc on college football. Not that that is the chief of the worries. Hurricane Wilma is pounding Cancun right now, packing winds of up to 150 miles per hour. Tourists are evacuating there, and this storm, which has gathered strength in the Caribbean, now appears to be headed toward Florida. As a result, several games have been moved around, either delayed, postponed, or played earlier to get it done before the storm is played. Tulane and UCF on Friday night. Tulane will now play 11 games in 11 different stadiums. Of course, the Green Wave displaced by Hurricane Katrina. Georgia Tech and Miami, that's been moved to November 19th. West Virginia and South Florida, which could have Big East championship implications, will be played on Championship Saturday, December 3rd. And an NFL note you won't see there, Chiefs and Dolphins, scheduled for Miami obviously on Sunday, will now play on Friday night. So that's the impact of Hurricane Wilma so far on the college football schedule. All right, guys, let's start the opening drive. And on our opening drive, the BCS rankings are out for the first time this year, and not really much controversy this time around. A lot of times when the first rankings come out, people get up in arms. Remember, the BCS designed to be right at the end, not right in mid-October. The BCS standings presented by Allstate. The top 5 reflect top 5 in the major polls, but conspicuous by their absence among the top 10 teams, Notre Dame, which is still number 9 in the AP.
Why is it conspicuous? Notre Dame is exactly where they should be ranked in the BCS rankings, at 16. Why in the AP poll? I don't understand when you've got a Florida State, a Boston College, a Penn State, and an undefeated Texas Tech behind a team that's lost 2 football games. I don't understand it. Even the ESPN Power 16 rankings had them ranked number 9. There's somebody at this table that votes in those rankings.
I did not vote them that
Notre Dame gets preferential treatment, and they shouldn't. If they didn't have the gold helmet in the ND, if that was Wisconsin, Maryland, Virginia Tech that had 2 losses, they'd probably be about 12th or 13th.
I agree with you about the preferential treatment. History bears that out. You might not like hearing it, but it is the truth. But did you see that game Saturday?
I didn't say you voted for them either.
Did you see the game Saturday?
Yes, I did. Did you see the end of the game with the scoreboard?
They lost, but they played great.
So did Arizona State. Arizona State played them right. Until the last 4 minutes of that game, they had them right on their backs in that last game. If you saw that game right there, because you were in the studio when it was 21-3 going, oh, I don't know. I remember that day.
Does Lou Holtz give him a hug when they do the Saturday show?
No, I wouldn't say a hug. No? A stick to the ribs every now and then.
I just want to call it like it is. If it was any other team, they would have fallen 2 or 3 or 4 spots. But since it's Notre Dame, we don't want to drop them.
All right, Notre Dame might get preferential treatment in the polls, but you know, they haven't won a game at home yet. Maybe they want to get the John Deere out and mow the grass.
Well, I think that Notre Dame is where they should be. I think that Notre Dame has played 2 tough games, and they've been very competitive, as Mark said. But the surprise to me is where Miami is. Miami is in front of UCLA, the UCLA Bruins, who are undefeated 6-0. Miami is 5-1, lost to Florida State. I guess they lost early enough that they still can uphold their ranking. So that was the biggest surprise to me. But now you talked about the grass, the Notre Dame grass. I know Mark didn't like that grass, did you, Mark?
I guess the price of gas was too high in South Bend, Indiana. They couldn't afford the gas to put in the John Deere's to mold this thing. Look at that. That's ridiculous. A home field advantage is your crowd, is your stadium, is your team. Hey, illegal, no. Unethical or questionable, maybe. You don't have that grass. Are they going to have that grass that high for Brigham Young this week? Well, they're going to have that grass that high for Navy when Navy comes to town?
If they need to slow down the option, they might.
Oh, stop.
Let me tell you something. If I were playing against Desmond Howard, I'd have that stuff up to their knees and be out there. It'd be a mud bog by the time he got there. That's part of the deal.
I've played against, you know, high grass teams before. I think the advantage,
that high?
Like you said, their team, their fans, and also sometimes the scorekeeper, the game clock guy too.
Well, you should know about that in Michigan. They gave him 2 seconds on the clock this week. I mean, man, I tell you what, you go in there, you better have your own clock operator.
Your own stopwatch at least.
We learned from the Spartans, okay?
Yeah, that's true. You were on the wrong end of that a couple of years ago. Hey, you look at the BCS rankings right now, Desmond. Who's your big surprise?
The big surprise to me has to be the UCLA Bruins. Those guys weren't on anybody's map at the beginning of the year, and now you have them at 6-0. They're ranked number 9 in the BCS rankings. They're ranked number 8 in the AP poll, and that's all because of one special player. Well, 2. This first one is Maurice Drew. He's a special player, and then his quarterback, Drew Olson. This guy threw for 338 yards and 5 touchdowns in a come-from-behind victory, overtime victory, against Washington State last week. Maurice Drew is only overshadowed by the one, the only, Reggie Bush.
And speaking of Reggie Bush, is the Heisman race over? You ready to give the trophy to Reggie Bush right now?
Well, I'm ready to at least etch R.E. in the trophy right now because it's a mile race. He's already at the halfway point, and he has the clear lead at this point in my mind.
I would have to agree. It's like Reggie has one foot on the Heisman, the other foot on the banana peel. Reggie Bush is undoubtedly the most excitable player in college football. He can do it all. You know, people try to compare him with other running backs, and people at USC said the only player who resembled Reggie Bush's speed and talent at this level was O.J. Simpson. They said outside of that, he's the best player to ever put on a Trojans uniform.
All right, now he's a terrific player, and I don't argue the point that he's probably the best player in college football. But what do you do? What do you do with that Texas quarterback? If they win again, Vince Young has put up huge numbers. What if they stay undefeated, knock off Texas Tech?
He gets a free trip to New York City along with 3 other guys.
or
Bush.
What if Texas Tech wins a game with Cody Hodges?
Oh, you could throw for 400 in that system. Come on.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore, my friend. We'll talk more about this and maybe a little more about Vince Young as well coming up at halftime of the Virginia Tech-Maryland game. Mac Brown is going to join us for a visit. We'll talk about how Vince Young has become so dangerous throwing the ball down the field in addition to those great moves and the way he can cut you up with those legs. Mac Brown joining us at halftime of Virginia Tech and Maryland. Oh, I think the Terps, they're trying to get the snake pit of Byrd Stadium rocking. Hokies and Terps coming up.
You buy Singular, raising the bar. Sonic, it's not just good, it's Sonic good. And Under Armour Performance Apparel. The advantage is undeniable. Hit the hard shell for luck and then hit the field here at Byrd Stadium. Maryland set to take on the #3 team in the country, the Virginia Tech Hokies. That's the student section, all in black, and the players in the black jerseys for the second game ran all the way down to greet their fellow students, hoping that they'll have a special game here tonight. One of the reasons that there's a lot of emotion for tonight is what happened last year on a Thursday night in Blacksburg as Maryland came in and got toasted. It was early mistakes. The first 2 passes should have been intercepted. The third was Mike Imoh ran for a touchdown. The turnover parade continued. In all, 4 interceptions, 5 turnovers, a 55-6 Virginia Tech demolition of Maryland. That has left a bad taste in the Maryland mouth. And Kirk Herbstreit, this is now something that the Maryland players have focused on coming into tonight.
Well, ever since we've been in town, every Maryland player, every coach, the head coach, they get a different look in their eye when they talk about 55-6. It was one of the most embarrassing moments in Ralph Regent's career, player or as an assistant or as a head coach. And these players, led by DeQuell Jackson, remember that night like it was yesterday, and that's been big motivation for them as they prepare for the Hokies in 2005.
And Aaron Andrews can add more down from the sideline. Aaron?
Yeah, Mike, earlier this week, team captain DeQuell Jackson approached his head coach Ralph Regent and said, I need to address this team the night before the game. Regent says that's the first time a player has ever done that. According to several of the players that I spoke with, they told me Jackson addressed them in a very calm but passionate voice. He re-emphasized the fact the team that was embarrassed last season on national television was not an accurate portrayal of who they really are. And in a speech that lasted about 5 minutes, guys, he repeated that score, 55-6. About 8 to 9 times. You know, that's a memory they'd like to erase quickly tonight.
Well, Aaron, that was interesting. You saw Ron Cherry, the official there. As you look at Ralph Regent, the head coach, Ron Cherry, the referee, had to tell DeQuell Jackson to head back over there as that stare down and words were going on there before the kickoff. So you can sense the emotion Aaron was talking about that Jackson portrayed pregame. Why don't we check the Bud Light starting lineups, because Maryland gets the ball first as Virginia Tech won the toss and deferred. Hollenbach, the quarterback, Kirk talked about at the beginning. Mario Merrills will start, a senior, one of 3 running backs we'll see tonight. As for the pass catchers, a very good tight end. In this year of great tight ends around the country, Vernon Davis, the junior, is averaging 20 per catch. As for the guys up front, 78, he's the left tackle. His name's Jared Gaither. He's a freshman, a true freshman. He is 6'9", 330. He's huge, but he also has a huge job on his hands tonight against the Hokies.
You did say true freshman.
I did indeed.
And we'll get to the Hokies starting lineup in a second, but that young offensive line will be the key tonight for Maryland. And whether or not they can build any consistency in moving the football against this great Hokie defense.
Temperature is in the 50s, 30% chance of rain in the forecast here tonight. Other than that, it is a beautiful evening for football just about 20 miles from our nation's capital. Virginia Tech has won them all at NC State, Duke, beating Ohio, Georgia Tech, West Virginia, and Marshall. They come in 6-0. Jared DeBelli set to kick, and off we go from College Park to JoJo Walker. No return. Terps will start from their own 20. Here are the guys Kirk talked about. The Virginia Tech defense tops in the conference and the country and giving up points at 9 per game. Ellis, Powell, Lewis, Darrell Tapp off the edge, 3 sacks, 11 hurries. He's going to see that freshman a few times tonight. Linebackers are the top 3 tacklers. Vince Hall, James Anderson, and Xavier Adibi, a freak of an athlete, a very good player. And notice all the states, by the way. 3 Virginia guys there, 3 more Virginia guys, and a guy from D.C. Jimmy Williams, the corner, the senior, first team all-conference last year, came back, eschewing the chance to go to the National Football League last year. Opening drive starts from the 20. Hollenbach got somebody in the neutral zone. First play, free play, knocked down by the defensive front. He's knocked away by Darrell Tapp, and we have a penalty marker right there.
I think Darrell Tapp is so excited to go against this young offensive line that he's a little bit too eager.
Number 55, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Ron Cherry with the call. Only 15 penalty yards for this defense in the last 5 games.
Of Darrell Tapp, talking to him last night, Mike, this is an opportunity to try to put pressure on a young quarterback, and you say young, even though he's a junior, young as far as game experience.
You're right, just his 8th start.
Right.
He's 5-2, as Aaron said at the beginning. When he came in at the back end of that Virginia Tech game, it was the first time. A run for Lance Ball. He's keeping the pile going for about 3 yards. And look at this pushing and shoving right away Donnie Woods had his helmet come off. The officials are going to have to be very on top of this early on tonight because emotions are high. Neither team played last Saturday, so both on a full 10 or 11 days of rest. So what is it about Hollenbach that has allowed him to become a more dynamic offense and this quarterback in general?
Well, the best thing that happened to him is he won Maryland's last game last year against Wake Forest. And in winning that game, I think he gained the confidence of his coaching staff and his teammates. So the entire offseason leading into this year, he became Ralph Friedgen's leader. And he's played well enough because he's not making silly mistakes coming into this game, and that's the most important thing when you play for in this offense.
Keon Lattimore, the half-brother of Ray Lewis, gets the first down to the 32-yard line. The Maryland players were trying to get a timeout because there was a helmet issue with the player who got his helmet taken off. They were yelling at the official, Ron Cherry, and he said, "Too bad, get back in there." So we've got Ron Cherry as the official trying to set the tone here in the early going. And they're going to get a backup in for Donnie Woods, the left guard. Jamie Thomas, 76, comes in.
One sophomore goes out, and here redshirt freshman goes in for Maryland's young offensive line. It's pretty chippy here early. Donnie Woods giving some great effort. Vince Saul, the linebacker, pulling his head and ripping his helmet off.
First down was picked up, so 1st and 10 from the 33. And out of the gun, the give is to Lance Ball. He gets out to the 35-yard line. One of the edges for each team. Let's start with Maryland with the ball and the Under Armour advantage from Kirk tonight.
Well, they have to have success. This crowd is very excited. They think they have a chance, and the quarterback, Sam Hollenbach, has got to avoid the mistakes because that's what Virginia Tech thrives on. This is a team, Virginia Tech, that doesn't give up the big plays. They're going to make Maryland drive the ball, and then they're going to try to come up with a big play. And the other thing that's important, Mike, is killing Maryland's will early. Don't give them a reason to believe they can compete for 4 quarters.
2nd and 8. Hollenbach throwing deep down the sideline. And incomplete, intended for the senior, his roommate, Danny Melendez, who has 24 catches. They were trying to throw at Jimmy Williams, and Jimmy's all excited. Somebody actually threw at number 2. Very few people have done it this year. He's that good of a cornerback.
He's excited because he got some action. It's been a slow year for Jimmy Williams because of his accolades coming in this year. When he decided to come back, I think a lot of people have stayed away from him. They've stayed away from Darryl Tapp, who's on that same side. And see if they test him again here on 3rd down. Keep an eye on the tackles here, the young tackles against the pass rush of Ellis and Tapp.
Needing to get to the 43. Hollenbach throws underneath, incomplete. It was a shot for JoJo Walker, who has 21 catches, but Xavier Adibi on defense forces 4th down. Carlton Powell with some heat. And the coverage from Brandon Flowers, and now, as always, you have one of the most tense or exciting plays, depending on who you root for. Frank Beamer's special teams come on the field. They block kicks for a living. Essentially, every other game that Beamer coaches, his Hokies get a block. Maryland knows about it. They have a good punter, but a young snapper. Podlish, high snap, and gets away a very returnable kick. Eddie Royal from the 27. Picking up blocks, Eddie Royal. Somebody threw a shoe as Royal is brought down at the 42-yard line. That shoe went about 5 yards forward. 42 on the kick, the return was 19.
So that's the thing. Even if they don't block it, Mike, you can see the punters hurrying to get rid of the football. It's a low-line drive, and gave Royal plenty of time to get a big return.
Bud Light starting lineup for the Hokies, joining Marcus Vick. Mike Imoh is back in the lineup after the ankle injury kept him out against Marshall. Jesse Allen also there. Clowney and Royal are good. Another good tight end in this game. Jeff King, who helped the basketball team upset Duke last year. As for the fellas up front, all playing pretty good. But you can't go by without mentioning Jimmy Martin, who's with Montgomery, McGrath, Murphy, and Brown. Jimmy starts for the 40th consecutive time here tonight. And by the way, most of those guys, native Virginians. Imoh, first carry. Good running back, escorted out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Very chippy after the play. Dequel Jackson involved there. Here are the Terps defensively. Up front, Navarre, Griffin, Covington, and Conrad Bolston. 3 sacks. He's playing the best up front for this Maryland defensive crew. Coordinators Gary Blackney, former head coach at Bowling Green. You heard the story about Dequel Jackson, leads the nation in tackles. He joins Kershaw, Holloway, the secondary, McPherson, Varner, Harris, and Josh Wilson. Out of the suburbs here in Upper Marlboro, a track guy with speed who will be tested tonight. Gain of 7 for Imoh. The second carry is stopped up and no gain. I know William Kershaw isn't going to get credit for the tackle, but 48 plugged it to allow Jeremy Navarre to come up and make the play.
Exactly right, Mike, and that is a big play on second and short. Kershaw, the linebacker, does a nice job. This is going to be important for the linebackers. It's the strength of the Maryland defense. Get off your blocks and make a play. And that time, Kershaw did a great job of fighting off his block, plugged the hole, and it gave the rest of the defense time to get there to make the play.
And that was a senior, Will Montgomery, who was their starting center for a while, a guy who's going to get a look in the NFL next year. 3rd and 4. Maryland brings 5. Marcus Vick pressured, sack. Josh Wilson, the quarterback, who we highlighted in the lineups, comes up with his 2nd sack of the season.
Like Josh Wilson is a player who lines up typically as a corner. This time he lines up as a nickelback, and he timed up his blitz perfectly, and Marcus Vick had his eyes off to the right. He had an open receiver. I think he was ready to release the football, but well timed there by Wilson, and a good call by Gary Blackney on 3rd down.
Nick Schmidt, the 270-pound punter, pounds the football when he kicks it. Sent JoJo Walker back. There's a smart return guy. He knew where he was in the field, saw the 10-yard line and said, check please. The kick was 60. There's no return. Maryland takes over its own 20 after 4 high-intensity opening minutes here in the ACC.
Tell me you didn't invite him.
Great taste, great times.
We started this thing, and now that we're on top, everybody's trying to knock us off. It's us versus them. We must protect this house. Will you protect this house? I will. Leg armor. We must protect this house.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year, but you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because only Circuit City has a website with thousands of customer reviews that rate all the hot new stuff. Plus, home entertainment experts in our stores who make choosing the right TV a lot simpler. Circuit City.
The new, intimidating Mitsubishi Raider. Available 230-horse V8 and the most towing capacity in its class. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
People have been waiting for this game for a long time. In fact, the fans are already out in force. The marching band is here as well. Coming up on the countdown kickoff here.
Football. Are you in good hands?
Hey.
Back here in College Park, no score between Virginia Tech and Maryland. 1 first down for the Terps on their opening drive. Virginia Tech 3 and out, and Sam Hollenbach back to work. From the 20 into the belly of Lance Ball. Out of the gun, a run for about 7 yards. That's pretty good against Virginia Tech's defense. This is such a hard unit to do anything on. Score on, move it on, or keep the ball. Look at that turnover margin, +12. They've gained a bunch of turnovers, and their offense has only lost it twice this season.
What allows them to be so good defensively is their front four can dominate most offensive lines, so it allows them to stay back with their secondary. They rarely give up a big play, and it's because they're so good up front that they take away the run and they pressure quarterbacks just with their front alone.
Keon Lattimore is now the back, and he probes for a few yards, but there's nothing there on that front four you were just talking about. The players, their ability, their speed, guys like Darryl Tapp. One reason that they're very good. The other reason this defense is good, Bud Foster, their defensive coordinator, who seemingly forever has been with Frank Beamer. 19 years at Virginia Tech, 25 total. There are other very good defensive coordinators in the country. Can't find one better than Bud.
I think every Thursday it seems like we're talking about coordinators and what great jobs they're doing, but you have to put Bud Foster in the upper echelon across the entire country of being a guy who's changed with the times to continue to have a great defense in different ways, which is a mark of a great coach.
That's a big point. 3rd and a yard. The toss with Lattimore gets the first down. Jimmy Williams stuck his helmet in there, but Lattimore will move the chains out of the 32-yard line.
Mike, it may seem like just small things here early in the game, but a couple first downs for Maryland when you're playing a team that beat you 55-6. And there are a lot of players coming back from both sides of the ball that participated in that game. And that's been your rallying call. That's important to come out. And who knows if they end up staying in this game. But psychologically, for a young quarterback in one of his first big games, very important to have some success like that early.
Haven't seen a pass to Vernon Davis, the tight end, yet. And on first down, Hollenbach throws for Vernon Davis, the tight end. First down at the 40-yard line.
Nice call, Mikey T.
Pick up from 28.
Well, they've had a little bit of success running the football, this time out of I formation. You've got a safety trying to stay with one of the best tight ends in football. Davis makes the catch, holds on to it, and the thing that I like is watch the quarterback. Takes the hit. It wasn't a huge hit, but I can tell you when you're sitting in that pocket and you know about Darryl Tapp and he's closing in, he makes the throw, and that's exactly what Ralph Regent talked about. The ability of Hollenbach to sit in there and take a hit has impressed him this year.
6'5", 220 pounds. After that big gainer, here comes Lattimore, who's dancing and finding Xavier Adibi awaiting out of Hampton, Virginia. Loss of a yard or so. We'll check the penalty marker in a moment.
You know what that does, though, when you take a hit like that, you're only starting your 8th game as a junior.
Offside.
Must be something about Thursday night and lining up off sides. This time, Jonathan Lewis lines up off sides. Or a hex on Thursday night. But what that does for Hollenbach or any quarterback who's willing to sit in there and take a hit is quarterbacks have a reputation by linemen and linebackers that they don't practice hard and they get off of this and they get off of that. When you get to a game, you show that you're willing to take a hit and you're going to still deliver the ball. When they watch that on film, you gain the respect of your teammates. And that's something that, as a guy like Hollenbach who's had to pay his dues, it's a very impressive characteristic.
From the 35, a little miscommunication with the ball. It's free, and I think James Anderson fell on it for Virginia Tech. The exchange, always so important out of the gun. That little inside handoff. Whoa! Wow, what a job by Lance Ball, 44, to get down there and get the ball.
Holy cow.
How did James Anderson not get it? 42 in white.
I was about to say plus 13 now in turnover ratio, with 2nd in the country, but unbelievable effort by Ball. Mistake. The ball's on the ground, but there are 3 Hokies there ready to recover it. He puts one hand out and pulls it in to recover it, to save his team now, to get him then in 2nd down. Wow.
And they gained a yard out of it, too. 2nd and 9, empty set in the backfield, so Hollenbach throws, complete to the 34-yard line, a pickup of about 7 yards. Vince Hall makes the tackle on JoJo Walker, the senior. We're in College Park, Maryland, a very good atmosphere here tonight. Sellout crowd. Boy, they've done wonderful things to this place as well. The first week of the BCS standings finds Virginia Tech behind UT and USC. But they also find a Maryland team looking to keep momentum going, built on victories over Temple, Virginia, and Wake Forest in the last 3. This will be 3rd and 3 after the 6-yard pickup, and 4 receivers make it 5 with no backs. throw to Vernon Davis, the tight end. First down, the 23-yard line. Vernon Davis, as we mentioned in the lineups, one of many good tight ends in college football this year.
One thing Maryland is doing is they're getting rid of the football quickly. But how about the young freshman? I know Tapp didn't come hard, but he locked up on him. If it gets to third down, Mike, and short, which is exactly what Charlie Tapp, as the offensive coordinator, talked to us about, if they get to third and short, look for Vernon Davis and option routes to be able to find an opening against a linebacker or a safety.
From the 23. Here comes Lattimore, finding a seam, getting across the 20-yard line. Roland Minor, the sophomore corner out of Woodson High School in D.C., makes the tackle. We mentioned earlier, Lattimore is the half-brother of Ray Lewis, the all-pro, outstanding linebacker up the Beltway here with the Baltimore Ravens. Keon grew up in Miami in South Florida and then came with Ray after Ray moved his mom and his other family members, sisters, and brother Keon up here. So he gets to be around him, train with him.
Has the same passion. Has the same intensity and passion in talking with him.
2nd and 7. Hollenbach throw is dangerous and intercepted by James Anderson. There were 3 Hokies awaiting. Derrick Fenner, the intended receiver, but Anderson comes up with the turnover.
Well, Mike, Sam Hollenbach has done such a good job of reading defenses and not locking in to receivers. This time, I think he was convinced that he could make the throw, and he didn't even see James Anderson there. And Anderson sunk back into the zone and made the big interception for the Hokies.
Singular customers text City to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
This guy just went to 5 bowl games in 1 week. Of course, he forgot his sunscreen for the first 2 and lost his voice by the 4th game. The worst part of all, his girlfriend dumped him when he got back because he didn't tell her he was going in the first place. So tell me, was it worth it? Oh yeah! Enter to win Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour, and you and 3 friends could be headed to 5 bowl games in 1 week on a private jet. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. Who knows? This could be you.
No truck is more intimidating. The new Mitsubishi Raider. Driven to thrill.
SSX on tour. Rated D10 for age 10 and up.
EA Sports.
Hey, all computers take you to the same internet, so why would you pay almost $24 a month to get AOL when you can get NetZero for less than 10? And you know something? NetZero ranks higher in customer satisfaction, so switch to NetZero.
I'm here to show you how the new Right Guard Extreme Power Stripe works. Let's say these guys are the Power Stripe. Red Rover, we call Billy over. And this guy's Odor. But now it's 25% stronger because we supercharged the Stripe with Dry Tech. Red Rover, we call T-O-over. You do not want to be Odor. We call Japan over.
Yo, get more extreme, get Right Guard.
Welcome back to Byrd Stadium here in College Park with Aaron Andrews and Kirk Herbstreit. Mike Tirico, Maryland, a 9-play, 60-yard, 5.5-minute drive. Goes for naught as Virginia Tech's defense comes up with the 15th turnover of the season. And Marcus Vick and the Hokies offense back on the field. 3 and out on the first drive. Marcus saw pressure but found Jeff King, his big tight end. Couldn't bring him down. So they got a first down out of the 23-yard line. Trey Covington, defensive lineman, came off to make the tackle. Well, Marcus Vick, everybody wants to run out and say, boy, he's just like Michael. He's just like Michael. The more I watch him, Kirk, the more I sense he's almost trying to prove to us he's not exactly like Michael.
Well, he has the same confidence and I think the same belief in himself and the same ability to rise up when the pressure is on. But he's a completely different style, different makeup of a quarterback than Michael Vick. And I'm going back to the Michael Vick when he showed up in Blacksburg as a quarterback. He was so dynamic, the ability to make the big play, such a strong arm.
Mike Imoh on the carry, stopped for a gain of just 1 yard.
And with Marcus, he's looking to kind of sit back in the pocket and utilize his arm a little bit more. That's vintage Michael Vick. I mean, you think about 7 wearing a Virginia Tech uni, that's what you're going to see. Now with Marcus, he has that ability. Don't mistake us. But he is a quarterback right now. He's second in nation in passing efficiency, coming in, completing 68% of his passes. He at this point said, I'm too valuable to my teammates for me to go around and run all over the field. Yes. He has that if everything breaks down, but right now he's doing such a great job of reading defenses and just throwing the football.
3 receivers in this route. Vick perfectly finds Eddie Royal. Takes it just shy of the 40. Pick up a 15. First down for the sophomore from Herndon, Virginia. It's almost like he's trying to do it next to prove to everybody, I'm not Michael. I don't have to run to make a play. I have that in my back pocket just in case.
But I think when he waits, in this case, this is Marcus Vick to me. He sees a soft corner. He realizes that he's got a receiver that's going to come underneath the coverage, and he knows where he's going with the football as he's in his drop, and that has a lot to do with the way he has been coached by Kevin Rogers. His position coach does a great job of prepping him for the game.
Drew Stanton, Michigan State, the best one in the country. Good hit on Imoh for a loss of 3 by William Kershaw. Aaron Andrews has more on Marcus. Aaron?
And Mike, you know, when we had a chance to speak with Virginia Tech's offensive coordinator, Brian Steinspring, he had said sometimes from the press box he'll be yelling, run it, run it. But he said he's learned working with both Michael and Marcus. They are the coolest guys out there. They love these opportunities, and when he finds it necessary to run it, he will.
Yeah, Frank Beamer said this morning, hey, he's got that gear. You'll see it. 2nd and 14. Marcus, the quick toss is complete to David Clowney. Ridden out of bounds at the 45-yard line by Garrick McPherson. Pickup of 10. We'll have 3rd and about 4 coming up with 3 minutes on the first quarter clock.
When you have a quarterback that says something like, my coach does a good job of preparation and helping me, that by the time I get into the game, I know what to do with the football, that's a good sign. This is a little throw, but you notice how he leads Clowney? He didn't throw it to his backside shoulder. He threw it to his upside shoulder, which led Clowney down the field, and he didn't have to wait for the football. He was in full stride when he caught the ball, and that's a little thing, but the accuracy of the throw, very important there.
He's hit all 3 throws tonight. 3rd and 4. Move him in the pocket. Toss for Eddie Royal. Just a little high and a little wide. And Virginia Tech will be forced to kick it away. There's his first incompletion of the night.
Talking so much about Marcus Vick, we need to also talk about Maryland up front in the trenches. How hard they're working up there against a pretty good Virginia Tech offensive line to get Marcus Vick into that 3rd and 4 and 2nd long before that kind of situation.
Getting a good push, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
First punt was 60 for our big guy, Nick Schmidt, at 273. Trying to kick this one toward the sideline, out of bounds. Bad kick. Out of bounds at the 29. The punt's just going to be 26 yards. So Maryland will take over. Moved it well on the last drive, then turned it over at the end.
PN's College Football Primetime is presented by Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. And in part by Mitsubishi, introducing the new 2006 Mitsubishi Raider. Driven to thrill.
Well, they had a lot of reason to believe. 3 consecutive double-digit win seasons here in Maryland when Ralph Friedgen took over. But a 5-6 year last year sent the program slightly off course. 1st and 10 and a flag comes in as Virginia Tech moved, but they were invited.
We're out to the snap. False start, 60, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's Edwin Williams, a redshirt freshman. He just came into the game at center, where Ryan McDonald, the lone senior up front, normally starts. We'll keep an eye out for number 68. Kirk was a tough year in Ralph Region. The game we talked about at the very beginning, the just awful loss, 55-6 at Virginia Tech. It was a year where Ralph was so frustrated because his offense could do nothing in the last half of the season. Low snap, scooped up by Hollenbach. Long, tough throw over the head of Derrick Fenner, incomplete. Second down coming up.
Talk about Ralph Region 1 second. I just want to say that when you have a backup center that comes in, we're almost done with his first quarter with Williams that you just talked about. And he comes in the first snap, he moves a little bit too quick. And then he comes in, he's got to have a shotgun, and the shotgun snap is low. And, you know, it's a lot of pressure for a guy, and they brought him right out of the game because the flow of the game's moving pretty quick right now. And that's a tough way to come into the game, as a shotgun snap with your first snap, and I think it affected that time Hollenbach.
So the senior McDonald's back in. Good pickup there. 2nd and 15. Hollenbach keeping on the read option with room to run to the 45. First down. He took a hard hit there as he came down awkwardly. A pickup of 22 yards. Vernon Davis threw a nice block for him.
If you watch college football, you see this play very often, and Hollenbach looks like his left shoulder's bothering him. Watch Tap. Tap's going to come down, and when Tap comes down, that's the read for the quarterback. He's riding. Tap comes down. It's very simple. You pull the ball out, get some good blocks downfield, and Hollenbach, for a big guy at 6'5", showing that he's got some speed. They told us he came in with probably about a 4.9 40, and he's worked himself down to about a 4.7.
1st and 10 from the 46. Faking that option. Deep downfield for JoJo Walker, who broke free, but Hollenbach just couldn't get to him. That left shoulder's still bothering him. He's still moving it and motioning it. That one really stung him from earlier on. Hey, let me reset the table for you. Saturday on ESPN, starting over on ESPN2 in Champaign, Penn State. How do they bounce back off the devastating last-second loss to Michigan against the Illini? And the primetime game over here on ESPN, also available in HD. Tommy Tuberville's Auburn team taking on number 7 LSU.
Look out for Auburn, a team that everybody has forgotten about. Chance to go to Tiger Stadium and remind people that this is a really good football team. That'll be a great game to watch Saturday night.
A team you Virginia Tech fans know well from last year's Nokia Sugar Bowl. To Derrick Fenner. Stopped shy of the 45. We're going to have 3rd and about a yard and a half coming up. Well, Hollenbach was the only survivor of last year's trip to Blacksburg. Remember the game, if you were with us on a Thursday night, started with Joel Statham, still the backup. All the interceptions he threw in the first half. Then Jordan Steffi took over, and after his pick, he got hit, taken to the hospital for a CAT scan. Then, finally, Statham comes back, continued to throw to the maroon and orange, and enough of that, Hollenbach coming, and this was the best sign for the night. It was a quarterback who threw a ball and didn't have to go make a tackle after it. It actually wasn't intercepted.
That's what gave him the start the next week against Wake.
Yep, and Mario Merrill's trying to cut it back, but is going to end up shy of the first down. Vince Hall made the tackle. We're going to have 4th down coming up here, and about a yard. Kirk made the point. That's what happened. The next game was Wake Forest. He started. He kept the job and earned it into next year. And they're going to punt it here on 4th down or go for it. Play clock's at 18. No decision yet. They're going to go for it.
They're going to call the timeout and then make the decision. But, Mike, this is an interesting first quarter. We talked about having a fast start for Maryland and just kind of surviving and showing that they belong with Virginia Tech, and I think they've been able to do that. Their last drive, here's Hollenbach getting looked at by the trainers with that left shoulder. Last drive, 9 plays, 60 yards, so they've got, I think, some confidence right now.
See if they go for it on 4th down. We'll see how Hollenbach's shoulder is doing after landing on it in that run play a couple of minutes ago.
Winning. It's all in the mind. Classrooms and laboratories at Virginia Tech, every day is game day.
Wherever you see greatness, there's much you don't see. The path that led to the goal, the support of others, and the careful way everything's choreographed to create an effortless end. Fueled by 150 years of teamwork between alumni, students, faculty, and staff, the University of Maryland is now a leading public research university. And together, there's so much more we can do. The University of Maryland. Fear the
Back out of the timeout, Virginia Tech sees Maryland punt. The ball is down at the goal line. I think it's not a touchback. Let's see. They're going to call touchback. The player went into the end zone, came back out. The question is where the ball is. It matters not where the player is. And the officials determined that Garrick McPherson touched it after it broke the plane. So Ralph Friedgen decided to punt it away, not go for it. And I think you can understand why.
I don't think this ball broke the plane. I think he went into the end zone. Well, yeah, that's just all in college football. It's all about the football. It has nothing to do with the player. It's does the ball go across? And yeah, I think you're right.
And just remember, those angles are not straight down the goal line. So while you're looking at his feet, remember it's where the ball crossed. Field judge is right there. Meantime, Hollenbach is going back. He hurt that shoulder when he came down and had it tackled upon. And I think that's part of the reason they didn't go for it on fourth down. Quarterback wasn't right. You weren't going to put it back up in that situation. So back to Marcus Vick. On first down, here comes David Clowney across the middle. Still going. Be careful they don't rip the ball out from you, David. 39, gain of 19 officially. Josh Wilson at the bottom of the pile.
Great call on 1st and 10 with the play action. They've been running the football a lot. This time, flashing the ball to Imoh. Great call here because the linebackers, watch them come up. They're aware of Imoh. Now look at the nice throwing window to come across for Clowney. It opened it wide open there, or it opened up for the quarterback, Marcus Vick. And now you find a little bit of rhythm. When Virginia Tech starts throwing and has the balance on 1st and 10, that's when they become an effective offense.
Top scoring team in the ACC, 39 per game. Marcus keeping the flip to the receiver. Josh Morgan coming around. Good open field play by Josh Wilson at the 40-yard line, a gain of only 2 yards. First carry for Morgan, and that'll bring the first quarter to an end. Maryland moved the ball well, more yards than the Hokies, 95-51. We're scoreless. Marcus Vick's team has the ball. Maryland's quarterback is in the locker room. Storylines for quarter 2 after this.
College Game Day.
Quarter number 2 on College Football Primetime. Presented by Cooper Tires with Aaron Andrews and Kirk Herbstreit. Mike Tirico, scoreless in the first quarter. That's almost a victory when you play Virginia Tech. The Hokies had outscored their opponents 55-7 in the first frame thus far this year. Temperature in the mid-50s, 30% chance of rain here just north of our nation's capital in College Park. Marcus Vick and the Hokies start the second with 2nd and 7. And some option cut up by Vick for the first down across midfield out to the 48-yard line. Dre Moore, sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina, brought Vick down. If you're just joining us, here could be the significant play of the quarter or the game. Vince Hall of Virginia Tech brings down Sam Hollenbach on his non-throwing left shoulder. He stayed in there for a couple more plays, but you could see that it was bothering him right throughout. He was taken back to the Maryland locker room, and Joel Statham, who started this game last year and lost his job, is warming up. 1st and 10 for the Hokies. A rare visit into Terp territory for them tonight. Marcus, and as he threw, just a hair behind Josh Hyman. That pass was incomplete because the pressure didn't let him set it and throw it.
We show great patience in being able to sit back in the pocket this time. But I'll tell you, Maryland doing a nice job, not only in coverage, but getting a push up front. Virginia Tech is big. They're athletic. They brought the linebacker. And once he got through, I'll tell you, Marcus felt that pressure, but he came off the back foot a little bit, and the ball sailed on him. But Maryland right now mixing up their looks. Gary Blackney doing a nice job mixing up looks, not always sitting back there and playing zone, coming with some pressure as well.
2nd And 10, Mike Imoh. Good design on the play as Imoh takes it to the 35. Kurt, that looked very much like the play that they threw just to the wide receiver, that long wide receiver handoff. And they fell asleep on it, and Imoh ran it to 13.
You hate to see Imoh limping off. He has had an ankle that's been bothering him and kept him out of the Marshall game. And I really feel, with all due respect to the other backs at Virginia Tech, that Mike Imoh gives this offense a different feel. He has quickness, he brings passion. I think he brings something different to the huddle. He's also a senior, and you hope that he's going to be able to come back. That was a great illustration there of the way he uses vision to cut back into the hole there.
Branden Ore played and gained over 100 yards against Marshall the game Imoh hurt his ankle. And here is Ore, the redshirt freshman, who takes it to the 34-yard line. Branden Ore, George Bell, as the pile doesn't come clear very quickly. They have a stable of good young backs behind Imoh, and Cedric Humes, who's out of the line.
I was going to say, Cedric Humes, when he is healthy, Cedric Humes and Mike Imoh, I think going back to the beginning of the year, I think that's what they hoped would be their great combination. Branden Ore, with the injuries to Humes, and Imoh has got an opportunity, and he went for over 100 yards against Marshall. And they feel that Branden Ore, by the time he becomes a junior or senior, could be one of the best backs they've had in Blacksburg. He has that kind of ability. That's saying something when you say one of the best backs.
Second and 9, design run. Marcus Vick got a good block from John Kinzer. Marcus Vick out of bounds at the 13-yard line. First down, pickup of 21 for the junior.
It's just a little reminder for people that think that he's just sitting back in the pocket and wants to throw the football, that he still has the ability to make a play. The hole opens up, he gets a nice block by his tight end Kinzer, and then gets upfield. And there's an idea, this gives you an idea of the acceleration once he makes his mind to get upfield.
Hollenbach is back. Aaron will keep an eye on the quarterback from Maryland. Meantime, Branden Ore stands next to Marcus Vick out of the gun. From the 13. Dancing away from 2 would-be tacklers and met by Dequel Jackson as he went airborne at the 11. All right, let's check with Aaron for an update on the Maryland quarterback.
Hey, Mike, as you just saw Sam Hollenbach walking out from the training room, the trainer did tell me he did sprain that left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder. They just retaped him back up, and he's coming back in, guys.
All right, Aaron, thank you. So here was the play. Vince Hall made the tackle. We'll check out how effective Hollenbach is. Obviously non-throwing shoulder, but you can see it's bothering him. Oh yeah, it's okay. I'm not coming out of this game. Meantime, his defense needs to come up with a play. 2nd and 7.
That's for Jeff King here, Mike, down inside the 10.
It's the Virginia Tech tight end. They run with Ore to the left, some tough yards. We'll have 3rd and about 4 or 5 coming up with 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. No score between Virginia Tech, one of the 7 undefeateds in the nation, and Maryland.
Sitting around and talking with Marcus Vick last night, and Jeff King was with us, of course, and I pointed over to Marcus and I said, I don't know about you, but if I get the 3rd and short, 3rd and medium, I said, I'd be looking at this big guy right here at 6'5", 255 pounds. And he said that there's no doubt about that, especially down inside the red zone. He's my go-to guy and the guy I try to get the football to.
All right, he's the guy in motion. Vick looks that way, got a block, has some room, can run from the 10 to the 5 and in. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. And King did some good blocking downfield for Marcus's 3rd running score of the season.
Mike, what made this drive so interesting is it was a 10-play, 80-yard drive, and it was a little bit of everything. They ran the football. Marcus Vick picked up some blocks. He scrambled, he threw, and this time got a block downfield off the scramble by King, and it's a mismatch. Varner, the free safety, at 5'11", about 190 pounds, going up against Jeff King at 6'5", 255.
For the 30th time, Brandon Pace bangs through an extra point. Marcus Vick puts Virginia Tech on the board. He ran on that drive for 11, 21, 3 yards, and 8 for the first score of college football primetime from College Park.
A History of Violence is the most acclaimed movie of the year.
Sir, do you know each other?
You tell me. Newsweek says it's an edge-of-your-seat psychological thriller.
These are some bad men.
What's going on, Dad?
I think I'm losing my mind.
A forceful, riveting film raves the Los Angeles Times.
My husband wouldn't know somebody like you.
The New York Times calls it a sensational movie-going experience.
You're trying so hard to be this other guy, it's painful to watch.
It'd be better if you just leave me.
A history of violence.
Tell me the truth. What are you?
Rated R, now playing.
What you need is the multitasket.
Okay.
It's like a bunch of tools all in one. It has an air grip base, so you can use it as a laser level to help you hang pictures. It's got a nice work light, and it even helps you hold stuff.
So what you're saying is I don't need him.
The Ryobi Multitasket, just $49.97. Right now, get 10% off any purchase when you open a Home Depot credit card account.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Want to learn about all the new TVs? Circuit City makes it simple. Come to Circuit City this Sunday from 1 to 6 p.m. for our Home Entertainment Made Simple event. Get product demos on HD TV, home audio, and more, and talk to our experts about building the perfect home theater. Plus, get no interest until January 2007 on all TVs $299 and up. The Home Entertainment Made Simple event, this Sunday at Circuit City.
Built strong. Built comfortable. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Hey, Barry, stop, brother. Kind of freaking out right now, man. You're not freaking out, boy. You don't know freaking out. Get down there that hill. Overcome your fear. Yeah, you're right. Down, right? Do it now. Snap. All right. Snap into a Slim Jim. Look at that logo.
Is your daily face routine irritating the man in the mirror? Introducing Nivea for Men's Sensitive Lotion for a calm and comfortable face. New Sensitive Lotion and Face Wash, only from Nivea for Men.
Back here in College Park, great atmosphere, but they couldn't stop the drive of Marcus Vick and the Hokies. 10 plays, 80 yards. If you throw in Marcus's 18-yard pass in there, he was responsible for 61 of the 80 yards on the drive. Offensive line did a nice job for him. Jeff King, the tight end, is hanging out with them. He had the block on Varner down in the end zone to close that deal. And I think we're going to get a new quarterback for the Terps. First the kickoff by Jared DeVelli, who's got a great leg. That's his 10th touchback of the season. Reese Davis, SportsCenter, 30-30.
All right, Mike, the Chiefs and the Dolphins are going to play tomorrow night as the NFL moves the game to get it played before the expected arrival of Hurricane Wilma in the state of Florida. This will be the third time since '04 the Dolphins have had to move the game because of a hurricane. And it looks as if Leo Mazzoni will do his rocking in Baltimore. The O's have a deal with Mazzoni, but the Braves and the O's trying to work out a deal on compensation of a player. SportsCenter after the game, ESPN News all the time.
Thank you, Reese. Sam Perlazzo, the manager up in Baltimore, very close friends with Mazzoni. That's why that's going to happen. Good news for Maryland fans. Hollenbach is back in. Hands it to Lance Ball, who takes it for about a gain of 4.5. James Anderson on the tackle. Both quarterbacks had the helmets on, and Hollenbach does go back in.
Well, the reason it's important is because he's become their leader and the guy that they believe in right now with a 4-2 record. Just his presence, I think, affects his team, especially with a young offensive line. And let's face it, they've moved the ball pretty well tonight. They just haven't been able to continue to move it in and make the plays they have to get points.
They're averaging 5 yards a play tonight. 2nd and 6. Hollenbach's throw is shy of the first down. Brought in by his senior receiver, Denny.
To be able to have a chance to move. The Hokies aren't going to give you a cheap one. They're going to make you drive the field. And the only way you can drive the field is to get into these kind of situations where you have a chance to move the ball.
Same personnel, but all 5 tight ends and running backs lined up as receivers. See how Tech covers it. Quarterback. 3rd sack of the season. Brother Kevin was on the guy guy who's been the bell cow is now the only Lewis on the defense.
Hollenbach make a decision and take off. It's 3rd and 2. Right there, there's a seam. Good. Did you? Like he was back? That's impressive to get that kind of pressure up front.
Podlish able to get the kick away. Let it bounce, and it will be a 5-yard kick down at the 45 by Maryland's Marcus Wimbush. Marcus Vick in Virginia Tech.
Singular customers, text City to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
Hey. Hey. Whew. Yeah. You look relaxed for somebody in your condition.
It's because I have Aflac. What do you mean? Well, when I'm hurt and miss work, Aflac gives me cash to help pay bills my health insurance doesn't.
You mean like car payments?
Mm-hmm.
Electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
Or the rent?
Yep. Even food. Chinese is here.
Great. I love duck.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Hey, Mambo! Mambo Italiano, you must go, 'cause something tasty's going on.
First time.
Good in the neighborhood.
Excuse me, are you happy with the service you're getting from your stockbroker?
Oh, sure. I love feeling like a small fish in a big pond.
Service? What's that?
I started investing for myself online at TD Waterhouse. They follow up when I have a question, and they actually make me feel important.
At TD Waterhouse, their investment consultants will give you the attention you deserve, no matter what house. The alternative to higher-priced brokers.
So, any questions?
Doesn't having high-speed connection protect me from virus?
Nothing lead on Maryland. We'll get you back to Byrd Stadium just as soon as we can. But guys, maybe a little bit surprising. Not that we didn't know he could do it. Marcus Vick has great physical talent, Mark. He's only averaged about 20 yards per game rushing this year. Content to stay in the pocket. What does it do for the Hokie offense when he is more willing to run, as we've seen so far tonight?
Well, it opens the offense up entirely. He's been throwing the ball and going to his wonderful touchdown pass. But I think the key is for the entire offense to know that Marcus Vick is willing to run the ball. If you're an offensive lineman, you're just waiting. If the pocket pressure breaks down and they're rushing your quarterback, you're just waiting for him to give you that go call, waiting for him to take that ball down and run and make something out of nothing. And I think that's the key, because when the defense does a great job and they hold your wide receivers down, if you're throwing the football, he can make something out of nothing, and that's very demoralizing for a defense.
All right, Virginia Tech just got the ball back a few moments ago, and we understand that we're trying to get our technical difficulties cleared up. We believe we have. I believe Vick just completed a long pass to get Tech in scoring position. Mike Tirico.
All right, Reese, thank you. While we're away getting the Gremlins fixed, a 48-yard completion from Marcus Vick to David Clowney. First and goal, Virginia Tech from the 7. Just stretches it to Mike Imoh, who gets maybe about a half-yard. David Holloway on the tackle. Let's show you the play that happened while we're away.
Well, on 1st and 10, the adjustment that we're seeing from Brian Steinspring, the offensive coordinator, is play-action pass, because Maryland is putting everybody up to take away the run. It's leaving them with one-on-one coverage on the back end, and Clowney has the speed to go by one-on-one coverage. Nice throw by Marcus, and a nice catch there by Clowney to get him inside the 10.
Mike Imoh is back in the game with that ankle injury. He has returned. A fake to him, and a throw out of the backfield for the tight end, Jordan Tate. Trott is incomplete, I should say. Jordan Trott, the senior out of Torrance, California. Guy who graduated and moved over from defensive end to join the offense.
There's nothing worse than throwing to a fullback down inside here. And I love fullbacks, but they have alligator arms. They bench press 5,000 pounds, but when it comes to catching the ball, it's tight end H-back, fullback kind of guy. It's hard for them to get their arms sometimes stretched out to make a catch. And in that case, Trott didn't look like he could adjust very well to the ball being thrown a little bit high.
We got guys who can catch the tall ball now in there. Morgan, Clowney, Royal, and a timeout taken before this play. Timeout taken by Virginia Tech. 8.5 left We'll watch what they do on 3rd and goal. Frank Beamer's team leading by 7.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's.
Maryland's defense needs to make a big stop. 3rd and goal. From the turf 7, a 48-yarder to David Clowney's been the big play on this drive. They bring out different personnel after the timeout. Eddie Royal, one of the 2 receivers in motion. Everything comes that way. They're going to run Marcus Vick. Can he get to the edge? He is stopped just shy as the ball came out when he was out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to mark it. Because it's 4th down, and it's going to be a full yard for the Hokies.
Now that looks like number 7 a little bit there. This is a design run, a quarterback sweep, great acceleration, and a good play by Maryland right there to prevent Marcus from reaching for the pylon and scoring a touchdown.
You're going to go for it here. You like that?
Yeah, I think so. You're confident. You're 3rd in the country. You're on the road. Chance to kill the will here of the Maryland defense if you can put 7 points up on the board.
3 backs. Imoh tries to go over the top. He lost the football. McPherson got it for Virginia Tech. I'm sure they're going to take a peek at this to see if he broke the plane when he reached the ball out. But as he did, he was being pulled from behind, knocked it free. A massive turnover for the Terps.
Mike, I still like the decision to go for it here, down deep inside Maryland's territory. I don't necessarily like the call. I think you'd like to see Marcus out of the corner with the ability to run or throw. The ball comes out. I don't think he got close to getting the ball in. It's a stop for Maryland, but I will say this, Mike, that if you're Frank Beamer, whether it's a fumble or not, Maryland takes over, but look where they take over, their own 6-yard line. So now you're relying on Bud Foster and the Virginia Tech defense to make a play.
Very well called. You can clearly see it. Line judge was right on the spot in the linesman. Ball never came close to breaking the plane, so on 1st down comes Keon Lattimore. Cannot get Lattero. Nothing going on for Maryland's offense, which is grinding to a halt. Chris Ellis, Xavier Adibi on the tackle. So even though it was 4th down, and they were going to give the ball up anyway, that's the first time that Frank Beamer's team has fumbled it this year.
Tough way to lose your first fumble after 6 games.
After 10 times they fumbled it and recovered all 10.
3rd turnover on the year for this Virginia Tech offense. Very impressive.
6.5 games into the season, I'll say. Hollenbach swings it out. Nice call down here. Lance Ball got a great block, got a 1st down. If you weren't with us when we told you about the lineups, they have a mountain of a left tackle, a true freshman, Jared Gaither, who just went road grader to clear the path and move the chains.
It's a nice convoy and a huge block by the freshman. I mean, let's make a huge deal out of Gaither. Gaither, watch it, he lets Tapp get by, and then watch the block out front on Xavier Adibi right here to clear it out for Ball. Boom! That's a pretty good linebacker that he's knocking out. True freshman making a great block to spring him loose.
6'9", 330, and he just moved as Virginia Tech shifted its defensive line. So there you see everything it's about. He's a freshman who understands the physical part, but there's a mental part that he's got to learn.
Snap, post on, offense, 69. It's about a penalty, it's their 1st down.
It was the guy next to him, 78. Trust me, he's hard to miss. 78 moved, I promise you.
I love the story when he came in to meet Ralph Friedgen on his recruiting trip. It's like both guys.
They both did, okay. You're calling him the small guy. I don't want 78 mad at me.
But I thought it was great. He said, just looking at him, he offered him a scholarship.
Yes.
Ralph Friedgen said, I didn't see any film. He walked into my office, and I said, you want to play football here in Maryland?
Hollenbach, time to throw. Is it in bounds? Yes, it is. To Melendez at the 26. Now they're going to talk about it. And the conversation leads to Yes, a completion, a couple of yards shy of a first down.
He was a great basketball player in high school. In fact, I think had an opportunity to play at South Carolina on a full ride, but decided to play football. He's only played 2 years of football. Tough to see there, Mike, but he's only played 2 years of football, but at 6'9", 330 pounds, and very little fat on his body. You got a feeling that he is going to be a special player for Ralph Friedgen.
Out of the gun, big run and a first down for Ball across the 30 and out to the 33. They ran right behind Gaither again.
Mike, we haven't seen this very often against Virginia Tech. People running right at Darryl Tapp. They're running right at Jimmy Williams. Darryl Tapp told us last night, he goes, Jimmy and I have to be patient because teams aren't attacking us. They're not going after us. But you can see he's got his hands full tonight against this big true freshman.
He comes and gets a break. Nolan Burchett comes in for first down. Hollenbach, pressure off the corner, was picked up. He comes downfield for Melendez, and it's incomplete. Jimmy Williams, the corner, blitzed from the front of Hollenbach, and the backside pressure was getting to him as well.
Virginia Tech brought a blitz. Mike, you talked about Jimmy Williams coming, and one thing you have to do if you're a tight end or a back and it comes to pass protection is at some point you've got to contribute and be able to hold those corners and those safeties out. And that time Vernon Davis gave with Jimmy Williams, but he gave a little bit too much, and Williams was able to put the pressure on Hollenbach.
This is 2nd and 10. Sam throws as a dangerous throw, incomplete. Trying to just softly ladle one in there for JoJo Walker. There are a lot of white shirts waiting to get the ball. And it's 3rd down.
Mike, I think Hollenbach has a clock in his mind, and he knows he's heard all week from the coaches, 3 steps, drop, shotgun, get the ball, let it go. Watch this, how long he's back there. Boom, boom, boom. In his own mind, I think he's thinking, I got to get rid of it. I got to get rid of it, because he knows with Virginia Tech's pressure, they're going to come after him. And that time, he didn't have to hurry, but he looked like he was hurrying because he's feeling that pressure from the front 4.
3rd and 10. Here comes pressure. Picked up for the moment. Now Hollenbach has to get away. That's why we told you Xavier Adibi is best described as a freakish athlete. I don't know if you heard his ankle there. A late flag has come down as there is pushing behind the play. Adibi at 6'2", 225, caught up to Hollenbach. Now let's see who this is against.
It's on Vince Hall
of Tech. And it'll keep a drive alive. So this defense that has barely been penalized has 3 tonight.
Personal foul, man on the defense, 15 yards added to the end of the run, automatic first down.
Completely after the play, just pushing going on back in the pocket area.
Mike, about 15 yards away from the ball. But I just wanted you to show, you talked about freakish athletic ability. Hollenbach can move pretty well for a big guy, but he just doesn't have any chance against Adibi. Adibi's strength is just running down a play and being a tremendous athlete. He's very instinctive, but Vince Hall made a mental mistake getting caught up in an altercation, cost him 15 yards, and a punt there for Maryland.
Jimmy Williams dancing off the corner, showing like he wants to come. It's a run, and Hollenbach with that bad shoulder able to take it out to the 45-yard line and gain about 7 or 8 yards. Hollenbach's dad was his high school coach and also a quarterback. He was a quarterback in Illinois. And he said his dad talked to him this week about playing against Michigan, playing against Ohio State. And said, it's no different. You just have to go out and do the things you can do. And you'll find out right away that they're just football players. You can beat them. You just can't make the mistakes. But having a dad who not only coached him, but lived it at the collegiate level and went into the shoe in the big house, he understands what it takes to explain to his son, how do we beat the #3 team in the country? Toss to Keon Lattimore. Tried to cut it back. And he's a couple of yards shy of the first down. Aaron has more on Sam.
And you know, earlier this year, Coach Friedgen brought Sam into his office and just wanted to quiz him a bit. He said, hey, where do you think we rank offensively? Sam said, I don't know, maybe at the bottom. He said, no, in the ACC we rank 4th. He said, what about yourself? Where do you rank in passing efficiency? And he said, I don't know, maybe fourth. He said, no, at this time you ranked first. And Coach Friedgen told us the reason why he did that is he wanted to pump him up, give him some confidence. And you guys actually thought that was refreshing. He didn't look at his stats all the time.
Yeah, I think that's a great point about the importance of a coach recognizing how to deal with the characteristics and makeup of a quarterback.
Ball breaks free on 3rd and 1. Gets a first down to the 30-yard line. So this read option play, when you sprinkle that in with everything else they do, is effective. Gain of 14. Maryland with a nice drive and started way on back at about the 10-yard line after the fumble.
That's right. But Mike, another 3rd and short opportunity for this Maryland team. Great read by Hollenbach. Nice job. Nice patience there by Lance Ball. Important because he's just looking for a yard, but he didn't hurry it. He allowed the hole in the crease to open up and then found it and accelerated upfield.
His defense has given up 6 touchdowns in 6 games. Lattimore spinning and twirling. Gets about 3 yards. We see Mario Merrills at the start. We see Lance Ball. We see Keon Lattimore. All 3 backs rotating in.
Mike, Ralph Friedgen has done such a great job here in the first half of moving in different personnel groups, moving in different formations. They've been in the shotgun, they've been under center, they've been in 2 tights, they've been in 4 receivers. They're giving Virginia Tech a lot to look at and a lot to digest, looking for any kind of break that they might be able to catch, and Virginia Tech has to call a timeout.
Before play 12 of this drive, the Hokie defense will stop it. 3:15 remaining before halftime. Well, we've had a wild year in college football, and we're just starting the second half of the season. Penn State, Illinois is our ESPN 2 primetime game. It's 7 Eastern. How do Jopa's crew, Joe Papa, as you guys now call him on game day?
LC.
How do they bounce back in the college football primetime presented by Polaroid here on ESPN and ESPN HD? The Auburn Tigers take on Jamarcus Russell and the LSU Tigers at 7:45 Eastern. So the Big Ten or the SEC will be on opposite the World Series. So come on over and enjoy some good football on Saturday night. Meantime, here's the Dr. Pepper ACC standings. I want you to notice something. Boston College and Florida State over here in the Atlantic tied, and there's Maryland 2-1. But those are the 2 ranked teams at the top. And we look at the Coastal, and you're going to see that the 2 ranked teams are also not the teams that were in the original ACC. Florida State came in a decade ago. Virginia Tech, Miami, and Boston College have come in. So the 4 top teams in this league, with Virginia sneaking back in the poll at 23. But the 4 at the top, all the teams that have been brought in. So credit John Swofford for wonderful vision of how to grow a conference. He picked 4 pretty good ones.
What I noticed is next Thursday night, the 2 teams at the top there, Boston College and Virginia Tech, go head-to-head on Thursday Night Football in Blacksburg.
That'll be a great scene there, as it is here tonight. Out of the timeout, 2nd and 8. Jason Good, the H-back, is in the game. Hollenbach throwing for Vernon Davis, incomplete, as he tried to get him towards the students in the corner of that end zone.
You know, you said, hey, it's World Series starting up. I tell you, after last Saturday, day, night, late night of college football, I don't know if the World Series has much of a chance against as far as I'm concerned, as far as the excitement and everything that this game has to offer. That's as good as it gets this past Saturday.
And I had fun talking to all the players and coaches because both of these teams were off on Saturday. Virginia Tech practice, and they all were like you, wearing out the batteries in the remote control. Give me the Notre Dame game. Give me that Michigan-Penn State finish. Give me the SEC game. The Virginia-Florida State game. 3rd and 8. Stay in field goal range. Melendez, what a hit. Stopped a yard shy by Jimmy Williams. Perhaps as good a quarterback as there is in the country. We're going to have a 4th down and a full yard coming up with 3:04 to go in the half. Do you want to kick here and get some points?
Well, first, Jimmy Williams coming up and showing you how physical he can be. He's a boundary corner. He has experience as a safety, Mike. Talking to him last night and asking him about his future. He thinks he'll probably be a safety at the next level with the ability to play corner as well, like as a nickelback. But he is a great player, and I think he licks his chops every time he gets a chance to make a play. Teams have shied away from him. I like the call here without a doubt to try to get the points.
From 38, Dan Ennis gets it through, and Maryland gets on the board. 7-3. Huge opportunity for Maryland as they drive down. They've got a special guest who's a Terp in a minute.
When I was a kid, I really wanted to play in the ACC. Why? Well, look at our record. In the last 52 years,
we've had 10 national championships, 5 Heisman Trophy winners, 587 All-Americans, 123 bowl victories, 139 #1 rankings, 169 NFL first-round draft picks. Whew. Be a part of the ACC's tradition of excellence, then, now, and always.
Out of the mouth of babes.
Okay. Artie, how you doing?
Back here in College Park, 7-3, Virginia Tech on top. Those of you just joining us here as we come across the top of the hour, or just getting home at 6 o'clock on the West Coast. The number 3 team in the country coming to College Park and getting a severe challenge. Now, they've handled some road challenges at North Carolina State and at West Virginia. Maryland and Virginia Tech haven't played all that often despite their proximity. So this is a recently renewed series because of the ACC. Marcus Vick led a great 80-yard touchdown drive. He has 102 yards passing and 40 rushing. But his team was 4th and goal from the 1, fumbled at the 1. Maryland took over a very long and nice drive leading up to the field goal. This kickoff is going to be brought in by Eddie Royal at the 2, trying to set up some blockers and hit a crease. Brought down at the 26. Here's Reese Davis back in the studio. Reese?
All right, Mike, coming up on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report, Desmond and Mark alongside. Mac Brown will join us. We'll talk about the Longhorns and the Red Raiders this Saturday and also give you the Pontiac game-changing performance.
I'll tell you what that Texas defense is going to have to do to try to slow down the #1 scoring offense in the nation.
Now I'll talk about the winning ways of Vince Young. Yeah, Vince Young's personality sort of permeated that Texas team. We'll talk to Mac about that. Also what he has in store to try to stop that Red Raider offense, guys.
Okay, Reese, Des, Mark, see you guys coming up here in a little bit. Hang around, guys. I know, Reese, you're excited for basketball season, which just started. We got a great guest here in the booth after this first down with Marcus Vick from his own 26. And a swing out to Imoh. Mike's just going to step out of bounds after a gain of 4. Hey, it's after October 15th. We're at College Park. You have to say hello to Gary Williams, right. Basketball coach for the Terps. How you doing?
Mike, Kirk, how you doing?
Great to see you.
What do you guys have this season?
We have 9 juniors and seniors. We're really a veteran team, and hopefully we can take advantage of that.
What's this enthusiasm, this atmosphere? We see it at the Comcast Center with your basketball, but Ralph, a Maryland alum, has really brought it back to
right. He's made this happen, and it's a great tribute to him and his staff. They've worked hard to get this thing going because football was down for a while.
Marcus Vick, the throw is brought in by Josh Morgan across midfield, and Maryland will corral him at about the 44-yard line. Hand fighting on the way down, and another flag is going to be thrown in there for a late hit. Be very careful on that sideline as Garrett McPherson is ushered out.
Now, see, that never happens in basketball. That's a football.
No, you don't get that in the bench.
Yeah.
A gain of 27 yards.
We're all diving behind the bench when they come our way.
But you just talked about Ralph Regent and the football program coming on, and you were at Ohio State. Talk about having the importance of having a good football program along with the basketball program and how you guys can kind of work together.
Well, you look at tonight, this is the only way, and I know Ohio State's about 105,000 now. This is the only way to get this many people here is a football game on this campus, and it's just a tremendous thing. And when I was at Ohio State, I learned that. I saw that firsthand, and I remember recruiting Jimmy Jackson, and we walked him into the football stadium, and the whole place started chanting Jimmy's name, and he wanted to sign right there as we walked into the football stadium. Sure.
Here's the late hit as McPherson and Morgan were hand fighting on the way out of bounds. One more shot by Josh, and really with the woofing back, or one more hand shot by McPherson. With the woofing by Josh, he could have gotten another penalty, but Ralph Regent takes his player, his senior corner, out of the game there after that flag.
I think Gary Blackney might have had something to do with McPherson coming over to the sideline as well.
Gary Blackney was at Ohio State when I was there.
Defensive coordinator for this team from the 28 on first down, Marcus Vick. Timing, patient to Eddie Royal, complete down to the 16-yard line. Well, Gary, we're going to see a bunch of you during the year on ESPN.
Yeah,
so
thanks for having me here, and you guys have a great game tonight, and this is just a great show for Maryland.
Place you were so proud of. National championship coach Gary Williams. We'll see him a bunch for all of our ACC coverage.
Thank you.
Right around the corner.
See you, Coach.
Thanks, Gary. So a good drive here for Virginia Tech with 2.5 left in this first half. And Kirk, back to the point you made at the very start of the game, doing it by throwing the ball.
Well, Marcus Vick and the attack right now from Virginia Tech, getting it to this point has changed. They're back in a shotgun, 4 receivers. It gives you an idea but a diversity and how they can attack you in different ways. Marcus a little upset and frustrated. Clock was running down. He had to waste their last time out. But Mike, as we were talking with Coach Williams, I'm watching Virginia Tech, and outside of the personal foul, how about the formations and completely different from anything that we have seen. And people will say, well, it's the time, they're just trying to hurry and move the ball down the field. I think this is something that they were comfortable in doing, and they found some creases. And Marcus Vick, when he gets back and he gets his feet underneath him, you can see the arm strength and the accuracy and the way he can throw the football.
He's 8 of 11 for 148 yards. I think you know Marcus Vick ran into problems off the field over the last 18 months or so. 2 arrests back in January. Started February, the charge came out, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Then in July, arrested and charged with reckless driving and possession of marijuana. Immediately suspended 3 days later from all athletic participation. Then suspended from the school a month later. Back in January of this past year, he was cleared and allowed to rejoin the football team and the school. And during that time, he spent it with his brother, Michael Vick, and that became very important in his maturation, not just as a quarterback, but as a person as well. And we're seeing some of that maturity when we visit with him and when we watch him here on the field. Running option from the 13, Marcus takes it down to the 7-yard line, a pickup of 6. The Marcus we sat with yesterday was a very humbled and matured young man.
I was really impressed sitting and talking with him, and at the same time, you know, we have to be careful to assume that he's just this perfect little angel. He gets involved, and he admits it. When he's on the field, he likes to get involved in a little bit of pushing, a little shoving, a little, verbal confrontation back and forth with the defense. But I was blown away with his maturity and the way he now studies defenses. That's become his strength, is recognition of defenses and making decisions.
From the 7, he tosses almost a bad decision there. Yep. I don't think he saw Christian Varner waiting in the back corner of the end zone in front of King.
Well, that's being guilty of relying on your security blanket maybe a little bit too much. Last time they were down in here, I talked about how Jeff King is his guy when he gets inside the 10-yard line. That time, I think he locked in on him, and that's a trademark of a quarterback who, see here, he's looking off actually, but he did throw off his back foot and come back over to King, and King is covered. I mean, that's when you just throw over the top of Jeff King's head where nobody can make the play.
One of the few mistakes he's made throwing the ball, didn't pay for it. Now he tries to make Maryland pay by running. Can he outrace Holloway? Yes, but he's stopped shy of the goal line. Let's see. The official's going to say, we're not sure. Down at the 1. Okay, down at the 1 as he went airborne and the ball came out. The question was he down? Was it a fumble? Josh Wilson with the submarine hit.
Well, Wilson makes the hit, but the ball hits the ground. When the ball hits the ground, it comes out. What a great effort to try to get the ball in the end zone. Boy, he almost broke the plane.
Remember, it's where the ball is when his knee hits the ground, but it is a first down, so it's 1st and goal. And they're going to look at that on replay. Nope, they're not. I heard the whistle as they were just blowing the play clock back in. I beg your pardon. The ball did touch the goal line when he came down, but once his knee was down, it was before he reached. Will they get the touchdown to Vick anyways? He just tries to pile forward. They're going to have to unpile before they decide. Nope. No signal and shy, so 2nd down coming up.
What we were talking about there, about how he was living with Michael and how that affected him, I think it helped him mature, because Michael is a guy that's never really gotten caught up in that kind of thing, and as far as being punished in any way, and I think his maturity as a big brother really helped Marcus grow, and just being away from the situation.
Oh, they mishandled the ball again inside the 5. It's free again. Did Maryland come up with it? Clock is stopped as they umpile. Remember,
Virginia Tech's out of timeouts here.
Exactly. They did recover the ball. It's 3rd and goal from the 5. Clock will restart when it is set for play.
Mike, I really think that was a situation where Allen hits the football.
Sure does.
Allen's trying. He's trying to make a block. Marcus is just trying to hand the ball off to Imoh, and Allen knocks the ball loose. Marcus Vick very aware, very fortunate there to make the play.
Their formation was not right. It worked out. The pass is caught by Imoh.
Mike, he didn't get out of bounds.
Nope, stopped at the 3.
That's it.
Clock running. Half will end. Oh, let's see. Oh, they're stopping the clock for some reason. Frank Beamer's running the field goal unit out. Oh, there was a penalty
formation.
marker. Okay, yeah. The flag was thrown on the near side. We had guys running around because they were not set, trying to rush the play clock.
Did Virginia Tech catch a break?
By making a mistake.
Making a mistake, they catch a break. Wow. By the way, what a difference a year makes for before the half. Last year,
decline the penalty. It's 4th down. Clock should start when it's ready for play.
Offensive line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Clock should start when it's set for play.
Plenty of time. Virginia Tech will be set up.
Yep, has its kicking unit out, so it'll be a 20-yard field goal. They have to move the down marker and change it. It's set. Clock starts. Has to snap it quick. They do. And the kick is off the upright and no good.
Mike, last year Virginia Tech called timeouts before the half to go up 41-3 against Maryland. This time some confusion, and we got a lot closer game this year than what we had a year ago.
Well, as we watch this, Aaron Andrews is getting Frank Beamer. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, you had told us today it was very important to match Maryland's intensity because you're walking into a hornet's nest. How do you think your team has done?
Oh, I think we've done that. We just messed it up down here twice, gave up some valuable points. But, you know, it's the second half. We're still ahead and got to get ready to play another great half.
What changes do you look to make in the red zone, Coach?
Pardon me?
What changes do you look to make in the red zone?
When we got it 4th and 1 and, you know, we don't get it in a couple times from there. That's not us. We usually do that.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Usually don't make those mistakes, Aaron. Getting to the Maryland 1 twice and coming away with no points. We have a game in College Park. Number 3 and undefeated, leading by 4. Here's Reese, Pontiac Performance Halftime Report.
All right, Mike, that is the recipe that you look for sometimes for an upset. Missed opportunities. Maryland very much in this game. You know, in a way, guys, even though that penalty call was confusing, false start, they've blown dead and gone back to the spot, but you don't like to see a team get rewarded for messing up.
No, you're right. And I think that when they had that ball down there, Marcus Vick tried to sneak it in, and they had the third down play, and then they didn't get it in. I thought that was just not Virginia Tech's opportunity to capitalize on a perfect situation to score more points.
They're usually deadly in the red zone, but I think the key in this football game is Ralph Friedgen tells his team at halftime, last year these guys blew you out of the stadium. This year you're in the ball game at halftime, and guys, we've got the momentum in the second half. Let's take it to them. It's a great play for Maryland.
41-3, bad. 7-3, that's good. That's a lot better. We'll talk more college football in just a bit, but with Hurricane Wilma bearing down on the state of Florida, picking up strength and speed in the Caribbean, they've shuffled schedules across college and the NFL to try to get some games in or delay them until after the storm passes through. The Chiefs and the Dolphins will play on Friday night rather than on Sunday as they try to get that game in South Florida prior to the arrival of Hurricane Wilma. Other games that have been rescheduled, Tulane and UCF, that game has been moved to Friday as well, and Tulane, obviously displaced by Hurricane Katrina, will play 11 games in 11 different stadiums this year. Green Wave, tough road trips all the way around, but they've pulled together nicely. Georgia Tech and Miami, that has been postponed until November. And West Virginia, South Florida, championship Saturday, could have a big impact on the Big East championship as well. Still to come on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report, our Texas matchup of unbeaten teams in the top 10 on Saturday against the Red Raiders. We'll visit with Mac Brown when we come back at halftime.
Singular customers, text CITY to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
Grilling. Good call. You mean steak? You rock. Hey.
Hey, Grill Master.
I don't have a grill.
Introducing Taco Bell's new Steak or Chicken Nachos Bel Grande. Grilled authentic carne asada steak or marinated all white meat chicken give Nachos Bel Grande that great flavor of the grill.
Wait, no, this, hey, what's up?
For grilled taste that really draws a crowd, think outside the bun.
Dad, you know how you like to be everywhere I am? Now you can be.
With Family Talk from Singular. Add a line for just $9.99 and get exclusive phones like the Black Razor and Rocker with iTunes. Singular, raising the bar.
To keep food fresh, you have to take air out. Otherwise, your efforts are just going to waste. That's why you need the new Food Saver Advanced Design Home Vacuum Packaging System. It eliminates freezer burn once and for all and keeps your favorite foods like meats, fruits, vegetables, and cheese fresh up to 5 times longer. The new Food Saver Advanced Design appliance is the only one with a crush-free instant seal to protect delicate foods. So stop wasting time, money, and effort and get the essential kitchen appliance found in over 7 million homes. The Food Saver Advanced Design System is available wherever small kitchen appliances are sold, but you can only get this special offer through TV. Call now and get everything you see here for just 3 easy payments of $43.33. You get a 60-day risk-free money-back guarantee, plus these 2 special bonuses, and $100 in coupons good toward Food Saver bags and accessories. Altogether, a $260 value for just 3 payments of $43.33. Order now.
Welcome back to the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report.
Byrd Stadium can be a snake pit for visitors, and Virginia Tech finding out why. 7-3 at the break. Texas Tech is ranked in the top 10 for the first time since 1977, but the Red Raiders will put that ranking on the line in Austin on Saturday afternoon. Texas Tech and Texas, some are calling this matchup the most important meeting in this long rivalry. And joining us now, the head coach of the Longhorns, Mack Brown. Mack, how would you compare the anticipation and the build-up for this game to the Oklahoma game?
Reese, believe it or not, this year it's been bigger. And I think because both are undefeated, it's the 2 highest ranked teams that have probably been to Austin since the 1970 game where #1 Texas played #4 Arkansas. And then you add the fact that they're old Southwest Conference rivals, it makes it probably even more fierce.
You know, there's been in the past a sense of whether Texas could get over the hump, but now you guys have won the Rose Bowl, you beat Oklahoma, and there almost seems to be a different type of aura around this team. How much of that is a reflection of Vince Young's personality?
I think a whole lot of it. You see the way he brought us back against Oklahoma State last year when we were down 35-7 at halftime. Then he brought us back in the Rose Bowl. He had the last-second win at Kansas. And he continues to do the same thing, like up in the Horseshoe this year. So his personality is to have fun, compete, do the best you can do, and I think that's permeated through our team.
Why is he a better downfield passer this year than he's been earlier in his career?
We feel like Reese, it's confidence. Greg Davis has done a great job with Vince, but as Vince got better, he has been more in tune to studying the passing game, and he studies so hard now, not only the schemes of the opponent, but the personnel. And right now, he's become one of the better passers in the country. He's the 3rd passing efficiency quarterback in the country this year, behind, by the way, Cody Hodges.
That's right. Both of those guys in the top 5 coming into this game. One thing that's helped Vince, he hasn't had to run it as much. And one of the reasons is Jamal Charles, your freshman, who's had a bit of an ankle problem. What's his status for the Texas Tech game?
He's had a good week's practice. We'll start Selvin Young, but we do think that Jamal will be ready to play, and he's near 100%.
If you look at the BCS rankings right now, Mac, there's a significant gap between you guys and Virginia Tech chasing you. When you think about the rest of the season, how will it impact your thinking as far as trying to put up an impressive score in games down the road?
Well, Reese, the first thing you have to do is win, because there's only 7 undefeateds left, and I told the guys tonight, out of 117, to be 1 of 7 is pretty good. And then you look at the great teams like Virginia Tech we're watching tonight, and you understand that you have to be on your A game every week. You can't take a step back. And then what you've got to do is be the best you can be, play as good as you can play, and hope it's good enough in the end to put you where you deserve to be.
Your defensive coordinator, Gene Chizik, says you can't let Texas Tech make your defense a finesse defense. What will exemplify a physical defense to you on Saturday?
Our defense has been hitting better than probably any defense we've had in our 8 years here at the University of Texas. Tech's got a great offense. You got to credit Mike Leach. It's just unbelievable what he's been able to accomplish in Lubbock. But our guys have to let them catch some balls because they're going to do that. That's what they do best. But we have to be really physical after the ball's caught, and we have to get some pressure on Cody. If you let him stand back there, he'll beat you to death.
All right, now, Mac, you downloaded 2,000 songs onto your iPod. What is the one song that you go to now that you never would have believed you would have enjoyed listening to?
Coming to your city.
That is a politically correct answer, a little big and rich for you. Hey, Mac, good luck on Saturday. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Reese.
How about Mac breaking off the theme to College Game Day on short notice, on no notice at all? You know, the guy who leads them in a lot of their raps, improvised raps and improvised offense sometimes, is Vince Young. What do you see from him that has shown you his development as a quarterback?
I think Mac hit on it perfectly. Vince has definitely matured a lot since last year. The Rose Bowl game, I was at that game, and I saw him play against Michigan. This kid's unbelievable. He has such a strong desire to win. He does not know the word lose, and they know as long as he's on the field, they have a fighting chance. Then I saw him again in September at the Horseshoe against Ohio State. Again, they were down late in the fourth quarter. Vince Young walked them down the field. Now, they have a great running attack. Last year, they had Cedric Benson. Now they have Selvin Young and Jamal Charles. So that takes a lot of pressure off of him. But he's definitely throwing the ball down the field more accurately this year.
And don't forget Big Henry Melton, all 270 pounds of him. We love the hammer around here.
70-ish.
70-ish. Max said that defense hits harder than any he's had at Texas right now. A couple of those guys, Brian Robinson, Frank Okam, not dismissing the possibility of a shutout against the Red Raiders. Not sure I'm willing to go there, but a terrific defensive performance so far, Mark.
And it's all because of Gene Chizik, the new defensive coordinator that they hired from Auburn last year. What he does is he puts pressure on offenses. He wants to make sure his defense is physical, and against Texas Tech, that's exactly what they have to do if they want to have success. Get to the quarterback. Put pressure on the quarterback as much as possible. What Texas will also do is they will rotate their players, as many as 8 defensive linemen, up to 6 linebackers, 7 to 8 defensive backs. 1, to keep them fresh. 2, to keep the pressure on Texas Tech's offense. And when Texas Tech struggled this year offensively, they struggled against Kansas and against Nebraska. The reason why they struggled in those football games is because both of those defense got to the quarterback. I think with Cody Hodges, you have to rattle him, put pressure on him. You can't let him get into a rhythm where he's throwing those quick screens, and then he's got that shot to go down the field vertically. You got to make sure that you get hands in his face.
Yeah, Aaron Harris, the linebacker, really messed up Texas Tech's screen game last year. We'll see how effective they are. Chizik talked about stopping the run, but he included those types of passes as far as trying to stop the run and the short pass. Pontiac game-changing performance coming up.
The Pontiac Performance Halftime Report is powered by Pontiac. Nominate your game-changing performance at ESPN.com. Keyword Pontiac.
It happens at every NCAA football game.
Here comes the blitz. Robinson delivers downfield for Derrick. Williams wide open at the 10. Derrick has it inside to the 5. Touchdown, Penn State!
See a game-changing performance? Nominated at Pontiac.com/NCAA. You could help an NCAA school earn over $100,000 in scholarship contributions from Pontiac.
He's down the right side. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown!
Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA.
Julie, will you take me to Outback for their new Hearts of Gold Bronze filet with sauteed artichokes, sun-dried tomatoes, and a light lemon Alfredo sauce?
Yes, I will.
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I just hung up with your mother. You know what just hit me? I don't remember, but once we go to Outback for the new cyclone pasta with grilled chicken and 3 cheeses, it'll come to me.
I love coming to Florida.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Turn off the Ambilight function on your Philips flat TV, and it's like going back in time. The only flat TV with Ambilight from Philips. You'll never go back to ordinary TV.
This is the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report.
Florida International and Troy playing on ESPNU. Troy trailing Louisiana Monroe in the Sun Belt, but up by a touchdown early third quarter on the U. Time for the Pontiac game-changing performance, and it comes to you this week in the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. Wisconsin and Minnesota, and Minnesota. Cusack couldn't handle the snap, the block punt. Ben Strickland gets on it just in time before it turns into a safety, and it turns out to be the winner for Wisconsin, and it is the Pontiac game-changing performance of the week. The block by Jonathan Casillas led to Strickland's recovery. Nearly half of you voted for the Wisconsin block punt. The fan-nominated play was Michigan's last second touchdown. It got about 16% of the vote. In honor of Wisconsin's axe-winning block punt, Pontiac will donate $5,000 to the General Scholarship Fund at the University of Wisconsin. If you see a play you think ought to be nominated for a game-changing performance this week, easy. Log on ESPN.com, just search Pontiac, and you can nominate a play for the Pontiac game-changing performance. Perhaps Marcus Vick will be able to change things around for Virginia Tech. Sputtered in the red zone, but the Hokies still up by 4 at the break.
The Pontiac Performance Halftime Report is powered by Pontiac. Nominate your game-changing performance at ESPN.com. Keyword Pontiac.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I tried to tell you, genius.
I can't believe I'm in this situation. We're not having fun anymore.
I'm feeling your pain.
I don't know what to do.
Hey, look at me. We all make mistakes.
Told you about the tires, huh?
Yeah. Should have gotten Cooper.
Buying tires is a big decision. Next time, get everything you want. Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing.
People have been waiting for this game for a long time. In fact, the fans are already out in force. The marching band is here as well. Coming up on the countdown kickoff.
Football. Are you in good hands?
Hey.
By Batman Begins, now on DVD.
Yield. Strange injuries and non-existent social life beg the question, what exactly does Bruce Wayne do?
I'm gonna show the people of Gotham their city doesn't belong to the criminals and the corrupt.
Gotham must be destroyed.
Gotham isn't beyond saving.
Batman Begins. Buy it now on DVD.
In today's busy world, going to the video store is a hassle. With Netflix, you just make a list of the movies you want to see, and you'll get your first DVDs in about 1 business day. Keep them as long as you want without late fees. Return one in this prepaid envelope, and they'll automatically send you another movie from your list. My lady, we are the romance movie from Netflix. We hope our presents will be to your liking.
There's a movie waiting for you at home. Netflix. All the DVDs you want, starting at only $9.99 a month, no late fees.
We were out of shape.
So we did something about it.
We tried Hydroxycut. And I lost 44 pounds in 20 weeks.
And I lost 27 pounds in 20 weeks.
You can lose weight fast, increase energy, and control appetite with the patented clinical strength ingredients in Hydroxycut. In my opinion, nothing works faster or better.
Call now and lose up to 4.5 times the weight with Hydroxycut than diet and exercise alone. Also at GNC, Supercenters, Walgreens, and retailers everywhere.
Back on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report. Now, sometimes you need speed for performance, and sometimes you need power, like you need Big 73. 1980 Outland Trophy winner. We got him arrowed right there. Let's see if he keeps the feet moving, Desmond.
Yeah.
Mark is going into the Hall of Fame next year, the College Football Hall of Fame, and on Saturday he'll be in Pittsburgh for the Syracuse-Pittsburgh game. As not only do they honor Mark for making it into the hallowed halls in South Bend, of all places, but also honor the 1980 Pittsburgh team, who well might have won a national championship had they been allowed to play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. But instead, Mark,
the horseshoe. Look at the horseshoe tricep muscle right there. Look at him.
Now, Mark, as we try to get to the root of some of this issue with Notre Dame, in 1980, Georgia won the national championship. They played in the Sugar Bowl against
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, right. and you
we
were
went
left
to the Gator
out.
Bowl again.
Went to the Gator Bowl again.
And beat a South Carolina team with a Heisman Trophy winner, George Rogers.
Is that the problem?
No, it's what it is. It is what it is. We were 11-1, and what was Notre Dame, 9-3 that year?
Well, they lost late. The bowl bids went out earlier back in the day. That was way back in the day. Second half coming from College Park.
Congrats.
There goes Elvis kicking up a landslide. Close shave, now he's back on the flip side. But I like you best when you're down with the rest of us.
We mixed design with performance and remastered the SUV. The first ever Torrent. Pontiac, designed for action.
Let's see how the jacked up right guard extreme power stripe works now that it's 25% stronger. Let's say these guys are the power stripe. Red Rover, we call T all over! And this guy's odor. You do not want to be odor. Get more extreme, get right guard!
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Mambo Italiano, you must go, 'cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Introducing Duralast, auto parts built to exceed the need. Alternators built with heavy-duty electronics for longer life. Brake pads built with molded technology for maximum durability. Water pumps built for improved engine cooling with some of the best warranties in the business, all built to exceed the need. Only at AutoZone.
Back here in College Park, time for the second half. Mike Tirico, Kirk Herbstreit, Aaron Andrews, Virginia Tech leading Maryland 7-3. Maryland's head coach Ralph Friedgen with Aaron.
Well, Coach, your team controlled the possession in this game, but how do you get the ball in the end zone more?
Well, you know, we got to make some plays. We've had a couple of guys open and we've missed them. You know, we throw an interception down in the red zone. We can't do that. But, you know, we're running the ball. We're moving the ball. I think Coach Taft's doing a good job of mixing things. You know, we just got to make a play to get the ball in the end zone.
But what about throwing the ball? How is Sam Hollenbach?
He's fine. You know, it's his non-throwing shoulder, so he's a tough kid. So he's playing with his heart tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. That a moment ago as Maryland came back out on the field, and now Marcus Vick and the Virginia Tech offense waits to get the ball. Sure, they took one more look there at Hollenbach's shoulder, but you heard Ralph say, ready to go, as are we here for the second half. Chris Roberts kicks it off, and Eddie Royal takes it from the goal line. Stopped shy of the 20. Very nice coverage tonight by Maryland. It's been impressive. Daniel Kendo, a backup receiver, made that play. All right, Kirk Herbstreit, here are the numbers of the half. Tell me what they mean.
Well, it's funny that Maryland has been able to control the clock. You see the advantage that they have, but look at the total yards. I mean, only 158 yards, yet they definitely ate up as much time as they could. The red zone possessions, I think, for both teams have been a big issue. Virginia Tech had 2 chances deep inside Maryland's territory and were unsuccessful. And on the other side, you had a Maryland team who had 2 great drives, got inside the red zone. They got down to the 21 and down to the 20, and both times couldn't come away with getting any chances into that end zone for touchdowns.
From the 18, here goes Marcus Vick to Eddie Royal. Pass forward so he can go forward. Brought down at the 23, David Holloway with the tackle. Let's go back to the Home Depot coaching adjustments. What do you see here at half?
I think with Marcus, I think one thing that Brian Steinspring has done a great job of is mixing the run with the throw and giving Marcus the freedom to roll on the outside and make plays. And as I said, for Maryland's moved the ball. They've got to get the ball to Vernon Davis and allow him make plays inside the red zone.
Just 2 catches for the outstanding tight end. Here's a reverse with Royal. Across the 30. He'll get the first down at the 31. Waiting for him was William Kershaw, the linebacker.
One thing we should have added there for Maryland is continue to play inspired. Continue to feed off of this crowd and play with emotion. When you're Maryland and you're trying to beat Virginia Tech, who's ranked 3rd in the country, and you're coming off a year where you were 5-6, and they talked all week this week about this is the kind of game we need to get back on the map. Don't forget that. Continue to fight hard here in the second half.
At football, rushed at the 31-yard line, and snapped by Danny McGrath. Marcus Vick with room. First down, midfield, look at the burst. He does have that other gear to the 31, gain of 38. A lot of people thought they'd see a lot more of that. Oh yeah, he's got it.
Well, Mike, here's the problem when you bring pressure against an athletic quarterback, and this is why the new trend is trying to find quarterbacks that can run and throw. DeQuell Jackson comes on the blitz, doesn't make the play. Once you get a quarterback with the athletic ability of Marcus Vick in the open field, he's going to run away from linebackers, and now you put a secondary in a clear disadvantage. Look at these linebackers and secondary people trying to make a play. And what a good block downfield that time by Justin Harper to help Marcus get more valuable yardage.
Mike Imoh is hit at the 27, William Kershaw's third tackle of this third quarter.
If I were an offensive coordinator, I would, if you're recruiting quarterbacks, find a guy that has a great arm, but also can run the football. Because defensive coordinators are at such a disadvantage because, Mike, if you bring pressure and you play man on the backside, the one thing you can't account for is a quarterback that hurts you with his feet, which is what we see from the great quarterbacks, is that combination.
From the 27, very familiar play is incomplete as the pass was intended for Josh Hyman. Kirk, I said this last week, I don't know if it was with you or Saturday, the Texas game. It was there because it was Vince Young. When it's 11 on 10, when the quarterback's not a running threat, it's fair because the offense knows where it's going, the defense is guessing. When it's 11 on 11 because that quarterback becomes another running back, it's almost like it's unfair for the defense. They're outnumbered right from the start.
And to get more specific, if it's 6 on 6 inside the boxed area, and then you count the quarterback as the 7th guy, then it's really unfair because you can use your running back as a blocker and run with the quarterback.
3rd and 6, they need to get to the 21, and here's Vick underneath to Josh Morgan, inside the 10. And Virginia Tech, for the 4th time tonight, has it 1st and goal.
Love to see this drive by Virginia Tech. 7-3 at halftime, taking a great shot from a team. They're on the road. They come out here and they show why they're 3rd in the country by having a nice balance here. And there's Marcus Vick. Just a little flick with his wrist, and he puts the ball right on the money. Marcus Vick and Vince Young put themselves in a different category with that combination threat that we just talked about.
Clowney and Hyman are the receivers near side. Just option. Vick uses Imoh there. Got stopped at the 4. Milton Harris, the safety, made the first hit. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
Virginia Tech, when they've gotten inside this 5-yard line, Mike, one thing that I think we'll see change is they've gone up the middle. They've run the quarterback sneak. They've run Mike Imoh. That time on 1st down, they tried to get Marcus to the corner. I'd like to see that continue. Give him the threat, rolling to the outside, of running or throwing to a fullback in the flat or a tight end in the corner, because that combination of Vick running and throwing down inside here, you almost can't stop.
You have 3 fullbacks or tight ends in. They run it with Imoh. Looks like he's in. He is. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. Mike Imoh scores for the 3rd time this season. And this time, Tech gets it 7 in the red zone.
Do it the old-fashioned way that time. Run behind that big offensive line, and Jimmy Martin, the left tackle, had a nice block there to give Imoh a hole to accelerate through.
Brandon Pace, who missed the rushed field goal at the back end of the 1st half, gets the extra point. So Mike Imoh, banged up a little bit in that 1st half, coming off the ankle injury, gets into the end zone. There's some of the blocking Kirk talked about up front. Little path for the little senior to get in. Now Maryland has to respond.
A new way out. The thoroughly redesigned 250 horsepower Saturn Vue. Saturn.
Fred. Yeah. The printer's down.
Can you help?
I can try, but I'm gonna need complete silence. So much pain. So much pain. There.
Is it fixed?
No, it's fried. But I'll get a new one from CDW tomorrow.
Nobody responds like CDW. With fast shipping on top brand technology, you get what you need when you need it. CDW, the right technology, right away.
Hey, Fred, can you take a look at my wires? I'll need complete silence.
Tie 7-7. We'll be back after the break.
Beer run. Beer run.
Oh, beer run.
Beer run.
This season, don't miss a thing from your sports or your beer. Grab a Miller Lite with more taste than Bud Light and half the carbs. Miller, good call.
For some, recovery is a long road. For men, they reach for revitalizing lotion Q10 because Q10 replenishes skin to feel healthy, firm, and fit, especially when you don't. Nivea for men, more evolved skincare.
The first words on the moon were spoken into a Plantronics headset.
We can see you coming down the ladder now.
But the question remains, what if our headset wasn't there?
That's one small step for man, one giant hawk. Are you there?
Now Plantronics makes wireless headsets for everyone. Plantronics. Sound innovation.
Built strong. Built comfortable. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
Virginia Tech, 303 yards of offense, averaging about 8.5 a play. Just ran off a beautiful drive with that long Marcus Vick run. The highlight, the exclamation points put on the board by Mike Imoh.
That's the way you come out in a close ball game when you're on the road, is you go 8 plays, 81 yards, and you come up with a touchdown. After the first half where they had a little bit of sloppy play, once they got inside that 5-yard line, this time they didn't mess around.
Jared DeVelli's kick, returnable for JoJo Walker. 25, flag in. So, in all likelihood, this drive will start even farther back.
Got a spot right there. Okay.
Number 41. So we got a block in the back coming up here. And we'll take it on back to about the 15-yard line.
Mike, this is the biggest drive of the game right here for Maryland. It's 14-3, and when you try and upset the third-ranked team in the country, every drive is big. Turned it off on us.
Well, since off was on,
I know.
Thus on becomes off.
But when you have a team that comes out the way Virginia Tech came out, determined, and goes 81 yards in their first drive, you have to come back and come up with a drive. And Bud Foster knows that, defensive coordinator from Virginia Tech, and he was rallying his troops, letting them know how big a drive this could be.
Drive start for Sam Hollenbach is from the 12. Pressured as he throws, gets it to Vernon Davis, who takes it back to the 18-yard line as everybody in that old maroon and white tries to bring him down. Hollenbach, who hurt the shoulder in the first half, was sent down on it there in the first play of the second half. It hurts.
Like Darryl Tapp this time, I think, is kind of representing the attitude that Virginia Tech's coming out with. He just went right around Nixon, the tackle, with a quick little move to the inside. I'm telling you, this has that feel of Virginia Tech when they start to take over a game, and you go from being in a 4-point game to being down by 17 within 2 or 3 minutes.
Hollenbach option, barely able to get back to the original line. You know, Kirk, if you would play, James Anderson made that second. If you would play music right now, you'd be thinking the theme from Jaws.
Right.
Because they're just kind of ready to pounce, ready for one of those big Virginia Tech turnovers, and they slam the door on you.
Well, see, usually you see it
in Blacksburg, in Lane Stadium. Usually when they'll come, this is where, if this game were being played at Lane Stadium, I promise you, you'd see an interception return for a touchdown. It has that point of the game, that feel of the game on the road, even though they brought a lot of fans. We'll see if they can come up with another big one.
Jangling their keys, 3rd and 4. Hollenbach throws, it's high, it's intercepted by Justin Hamilton. We've seen this movie before.
Yeah, we've been here.
Out of bounds at the 35. Hold on, here come the Hokies.
This is how it works. They feed off of one another. Watching the defense from across the way when the offense was moving the ball, they're all standing up and getting more and more excited by watching the offense play well. And by the time we went away from a TV, we took a commercial television timeout, the defense was in a frenzy before they took the field. You just knew the potential of this was coming up. Great play by Justin Hamilton, a journeyman who's been a receiver. He's been a running back, and this year moved over to free safety. Horrible decision that time by Hollenbach.
Yeah, and his receiver didn't help him. Ralph Friedgen called his receiver over, was talking to him. Here comes Marcus Vick on the run. Outnumbered here. Can't get to the corner. A loss of a yard on the play. Here's Aaron.
And Herbie, just what you said, vice versa for the offense. It gives them such a lift on the sidelines when they watch their Virginia Tech defense. Jeff King was telling me all about that last night, saying it's so easy to go up and follow out on what they've finished. And he says it makes us only that much better as players, because don't forget, we have to go up against these guys in practice day in and day out.
And Aaron Hamilton, who made the interception, has been on both sides of that. Remember, he was a running back and a wide receiver last year. So the point that you made, he's seen from both ends. 2nd and 11. Vick strings him out, tries the deep ball, read well, and intercepted by Maryland. Back comes Milton Harris. The strong safety ushered out of bounds. Maryland keeps itself in the game, returning the turnover favor.
Mike, right now, Milton Harris has made the play to keep the Terps in this game, because we were just talking about the avalanche of Hokie football and Beamer ball, and Milton Harris takes advantage of a poorly thrown football by Marcus Vick. Not only did he throw this football late, but Marcus Vick this time decides to squeeze it in there, and the ball hangs up. And when the ball hangs up, it gives Harris enough time to come over and make the play. The decision was fine. He was just late with the football, and the ball hung up in the air.
Maryland gets a reprieve from the 35. Ball. Oh, my goodness. Aaron Rouse led the posse out of Virginia Beach. Loss of 3.
If you're Charlie Taft and you're the offensive coordinator for Maryland, you're looking down and watching this. The one thing you're thinking is, we have to combat this aggressive nature by being aggressive ourselves. Let's face it, you're not going to be able to run the football right now against this defense and the way they're flying. You have to take advantage of the aggression. Maybe it's a screen, maybe it's a draw, it's a quick hitter on a slant. Get rid of the football if you're Hollenbach as quickly as possible and try to hit a seam to one of your receivers.
Nice spot there, only a loss of a yard. Screen set up, there you go. To the guy who made the mistake on the last play. Derrick Fenner makes up for it and more. Derrick Fenner out of bounds at the 20. Give him 45 yards.
Well, Charlie Taft and I must be seeing the same thing, because that's how you slow down a defense. It's coming out to punish you. There's Charlie Taft as an offense. You match their aggressive attitude by coming right back at them. I thought he did a nice job of selling it. Hollenbach looks it off before he comes back and makes the throw to Fenner. And Fenner has the kind of acceleration that when he gets to a seam, he can take it. Hamilton very fortunate to catch up to Fenner.
And Hamilton was the one shaken up on the play, as Virginia Tech's medical staff comes over to look at the man who had the interception earlier on this drive.
The thing I love about Justin Hamilton, Mike, and we touched on a little bit earlier, running back, he's played wide receiver. His senior year, they asked him, because of the concerns of depth over at safety, Justin, we'd love for you to move over. We want to get you on the field. Your best chance of getting on the field is over at safety. And the young man says, hey, coach, whatever you need, I'm here to help you and help this team out. And Justin Hamilton represents this attitude of Virginia Tech, of a selfless attitude, as well as anybody.
It's the Maryland student section in all black tonight to match the black jerseys worn by their fellow students for the second time. Tech adjust. Hollenbach calls out a new key in the middle of the defense. And the run with Lance Ball. Made one man miss, but not Aaron Rouse. What a quarter Aaron Rouse is having. Made a couple of nice plays here. Aaron Rouse, whose life has kind of changed focus a little bit here in the last couple of years, had a son Isaiah born in August of '03. He and his longtime girlfriend Jacina plan on getting married. He lives in Virginia Beach, the young son, Aaron's hometown. And Aaron says it's focused him, changed his focus so much on how important football is, but how important things beyond football truly are. 2nd and 8. Hollenbach screen set up again for Ball. Couldn't make the first block, and the play goes away. Xavier Adibi made the one play to force 3rd and long.
That time the Virginia Tech defense sniffed it out. When you throw a screen into the short field against a defense that's as athletic as the Hokie defense, and as soon as they sniff it out, they're going to take the play away. 3rd down and long. Although the Maryland receivers are capable, like I said it early in the 3rd quarter, find Vernon Davis, the playmaker, number 18, and get him the football.
And don't turn it over, because a field goal makes it a one-possession game. You're only down 8. Make a good decision. Hollenbach with time, throws to the end zone! Is he in? Out of bounds! Melendez says he was pushed out. That's too bad in college ball. You're allowed to be pushed out. You got to get yourself in. Field goal coming. Friedgen looked up and said, let me see a replay.
I tell you what, he didn't convert, but Hollenbach sat in there and waited until the last. Look at the defense. Look at how fast they're getting in there, putting pressure on it. He waited until the last possible second to throw the football.
Perfect call.
And as you said, it doesn't matter. In fact, the push was maybe a little bit early by Parker, but it wouldn't have mattered once he made the catch. He's out of bounds.
Made one from 38, Ennis another one from 38. And it's no good. Came up short. Wow. So from 38 yards, the last thing you think is that a field goal might come up short. However, Ennis, in his first year of kicking, who's made 2 from over 40, just didn't hit that one right. Another opportunity missed.
ESPN College Game Day. It don't get any better than this. College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
15 years ago, Saturn changed the rules of the car industry.
We promised no haggling, no hassles, and cars that weren't just easy to buy, but to own. Today, our promise still stands.
On every 2006, we promised the safety of OnStar, standard for 1 year.
We promised the best highway gas mileage of any compact V6 SUV.
And on most models, we promised a lowered price.
The Saturn Total Value Promise.
You'll get more without paying more.
We promise.
It's not a promotion, it's a promise.
You're grilling for us?
Well...
Steak.
Hey, Brian. We smelled the grill.
We?
Yeah.
Introducing Taco Bell's new Steak or Chicken Nachos Bel Grande. Grilled authentic carne asada steak or marinated all white meat chicken give Nachos Bel Grande that great flavor of the grill.
This is nice.
For grilled taste that really draws a crowd, think outside the bun.
My parents retired on just their pension. For me, I know even 401ks and IRAs won't be enough.
Stocks and bonds alone aren't enough anymore.
My dad put 4 of us through college by investing. Even with just 2 kids, we're planning beyond stocks and bonds.
At Merrill Lynch, we'll help all your money work harder by working together. Cash, investments, mortgages, retirement. That's Total Merrill.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year, but you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because only Circuit City has a website with thousands of customer reviews that rate all the hot new stuff. Plus, home entertainment experts in our stores who make choosing the right TV a lot simpler. Circuit City.
14-3, Virginia Tech on top. 6:37 remaining here in the third quarter. Athletic trivia question. Name the 5 teams to reach a bowl game in each of the last dozen seasons. Going back to 93. Last 12 seasons, only 5 teams have made it into a bowl game each year. Athletic trivia answer coming up momentarily. Those of you wondering, the kick was not blocked, it wasn't altered. In golf parlance, he hit it fat. He hit too far behind the ball, too much turf, and just came up short. From the 21, here's Marcus Vick. Give to Mike Imoh. There's some hitting going on in this game. 5 to the 26, 2nd and 5 coming up.
Maryland's going to be kicking themselves when they go back and look at the film. They've had the ball at the Virginia Tech 20 through an interception. It had the ball down to the 21, came up with a field goal. Now again, down to the 21 and a missed field goal. So you get the ball down inside the red zone 3 times and you have nothing but 3 points to show for it. It'll drive Ralph Friedgen crazy, especially as well as his defense has played up to this point.
Second and 5. Vick is protected, swing it out. Imoh got a block on the edge, trying to work that block as well as he could, and got a first down out at the 41. These Tech receivers are good. They're good blockers. It was Eddie Royal that time.
They're good blockers, but it makes it easier when the Maryland linebackers don't get out to cover the back. I mean, it was a good block downfield by Royal. He's taking his man out of the play. But look at the Maryland linebackers staying inside on Jeff King. Nobody slides out with Imoh. Imoh's left all alone with Eddie Royal and 1 defensive back in McPherson.
It was dangerously close to becoming a really big play there.
It was.
Whistle as the motion began.
After the snap, ball start, offense, number 66. It's a 5-yard penalty.
That's Will Montgomery. Let's remind you about the primetime options Saturday night on ESPN2. Penn State going to Champaign. Ron Zook's team trying to build and get something going there.
We'll see how Penn State survives without Derrick Williams, too, in that game.
Out for the season with a broken arm. And then Auburn and LSU, the Battle of Tigers from Baton Rouge. As you know, Saturday nights in Baton Rouge over the years on ESPN. Something special, college football primetime, presented by Polaroid, also available on ESPN HD.
Auburn playing with a chip on their shoulder, out to prove to the country that they're a good team.
Marcus Vick running to the 45. He got about 10 there. Well, second, and a long 5 coming up.
You know, Mike, I talked about the importance of Vick continuing to run and throw into this second half, and when they had an opportunity to take the ball to start the second half, Marcus Vick accounted for the majority of the yards, 67 of the 81 yards. And when they are at their best, it's when they give him that flexibility and freedom to do both the pass and the run.
And you see Marcus is closing in on a 100-yard rushing evening. Play action, 4 options, intercepted by Dequel Jackson, the nation's top tackler per game. Looks like a running back here. Jackson to the 33. Turnover number 3 for Tech, and Josh Morgan, their receiver, is shaken up on the play.
Mike, just when we talk about Marcus Vick and the decision making, and he's running and he's throwing and he seems to have found his rhythm, and Brian Steinspring's doing a great job, he doesn't even see Dequel Jackson. He's right in the middle of the screen right here, and I don't think Marcus Vick even sees it. The ball is thrown right into the chest of Dequel Jackson. And Mike, you're right, when Jackson makes the play, he's going back to his high school days of showing you what kind of athlete he is.
And that would be a block in the back, because once the ball's intercepted, you're on offense. And Kershaw took the free shot, and he's lucky because that would have been and should have been a silly penalty. Now, can Virginia Tech stop Maryland again? Or can the Terps finally hit a big one? Hollenbach option, gains a couple of yards, brought down by Darrow Tapp. You know, back to Dequel Jackson for a second, who made the interception. The look in Dequel Jackson's eyes was just something that was so hard to describe, because he had a look in his eyes when we said, what about last year's game? The pain that he felt about what happened in the 55-6 loss last year.
Mike, I kind of got caught up with him. When I asked him about last year's game, his eyes kind of trailed, and he all of a sudden put himself back in that place.
2nd and 7. Hollenbach throws, tight spot for Vernon Davis. It's incomplete, and as you saw going by on the bottom line during the 1858 update, he is one of the finalists, semifinalists for the Butkus announced earlier today.
He told me that he saw this play not only all week, the entire offseason. This is the play that he remembers about last year's tough season and about this game. One of the most embarrassing moments in his life as a competitor, as a football player. That play where Mike Imoh went right over top of him has been the play and the focus for DeQuell Jackson, the leader of this Maryland team, the entire offseason. That one play, and now he's had a chance to meet the Hokies tonight, and he's playing well. He's done it. Now his offense has to back him up. It's 3rd down. Hollenbach throws, incomplete. Anderson almost had an interception. JoJo Walker was the intended receiver. Oh, Mike, you're either going to punt or you're going for it. Yeah, you're not going for another field goal. No. You know, you were short from 38. Oh, let's see. They're gonna give it another shot here. This again, yeah. Well, let's see if your theory of hitting it fat is true. Maybe you'll hit it clean this time. Usually when you hit it fat, you skull the next one. Skull would be okay if it's straight. This is 47. It would be a career long. Sculled it and shanked it. Wide right. No good. Ennis, who made his first 11 field goals, has missed 4 of his last 5. Mike, you're not going to upset the 3rd-ranked team in the country when you don't take advantage of opportunities.
A new way out. The thoroughly redesigned 250 horsepower Saturn Vue. Saturn.
The Funai Classic on ESPN. The game's finest, including
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Saturn and Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
It's been a career rushing night for Marcus Vick, 99 yards on the ground, but a couple of mistakes uncharacteristic to this season in terms of throwing decisions made. Taking over at the 30, it's been Mike Imoh running tonight, 7 to the 37. Check that, Imoh out, and Branden Ore comes into the game for that carry. Well, we are in College Park to see if Virginia Tech can win not only a 7th game this year, but a 7th consecutive road game since entering the ACC. They haven't lost to the ACC, and they're right ahead of Miami in the standings this year. Here's Marcus Vick's night, 190 yards throwing, 99 rushing, 1 score, 2 picks. On 2nd down, Vick loading up deep for David Clowney. Coverage from Josh Wilson, the junior. Clowney wants a flag. The official says 3rd down. Clowney does a good job of walling Wilson off with his body. He just has to go up and make the catch, and I think he's upset with Wilson because Wilson was grabbing his arms to try to prevent him from going up to make the catch. But that's what you're taught as a corner, is to put your hands up as if you're going for the ball and strip the arms down. See if Wilson, you see right there with his right hand? It's very hard for an official to see that when it's happening in real speed. Great technique that time by Josh Wilson to get away with one. Especially those 2 arms next to each other. Their bodies are hiding it. Vick, pocket collapsing, throws, intercepted behind the play by Christian Varner. It was in the hands of King, and Virginia Tech is keeping Maryland in business. Another turnover. Let me explain to people how you upset a 3rd-ranked team. You're afforded opportunities. This is their 4th turnover. Keep in mind, Virginia Tech is 2nd in the nation in turnover margin. They've turned it over now
4 times. Ball goes through King's hands, and it looked like right at the line of scrimmage, it was close to being tipped up front, but it got through. King has a chance to make a great play, but how about the interception by the free safety, Christian Varner? Another opportunity for Hollenbach in the Terp offense.
This time they run Lattimore, and not much there. Gain of about a yard, 2.5 left in the third. A DB and Hall, the linebackers on the side.
I'm worried DeQuell Jackson and company are going to start asking to get into the offensive huddle and see if they can help out in any way to try to move the ball. Maryland's moving the ball. They just have to try to finish off these drives. And I would not kick another field goal at this point. I would think this is 4-down territory. Unless you get down inside the 20, keep trying to move the ball.
That secondary's done a nice job tonight. They're all there enjoying their moment. They've gotten the ball back in key moments. Same play to the other side is almost intercepted. Derrick Fenner's had it in his hands a couple of times. Carlton Powell almost took 300 pounds toward the goal line.
Mike Carlton Powell was instantly red screen. Had his head on a swivel. Started to look from side to side. He's getting double teamed. He feels the release by the offensive lineman Woods, and right away starts to run to the outside to chase the screen down. Even if he made the catch, Fenner would have been tackled that time by Carlton Powell.
Let's see. Marcus Vick has been picked 3 of his last 8 plays. Hollenbach has missed his last 4 passes. He's going to have to scramble to get this one off. He does, and goes down. Loss of 2. The Maryland side wanted a flag for a late hit. They're going for the tackle, and they'll punch it away. Another turnover turning into nothing.
Another opportunity missed, and this gives you Darryl Tapp. You look, you say, boy, how many sacks does Darryl Tapp have? He's one of the best ends in the country. You know what? That's not a sack, but that's going right by an offensive tackle and creating a sack for a DB. Great job by Darryl Tapp of flushing Hollenbach out of the pocket. Kid's a warrior, number 55 for Virginia Tech.
At the middle, loaded up there, trying to come up through the center. They got through and almost got to that punt. Podlish kicked a nice one. Will it die? Will it die? It did. Down at the 1.
Another golf reference. That's a nice little wedge there, right?
That's right. It's a very nice wedge. We've got the tournament, the Funai Classic, Walt Disney World Resort on ESPN.
You're everywhere.
Coverage continues tomorrow.
You just don't stop.
I'll be there Sunday.
You bang out Saturday's football, and then you take it over to golf on Sunday. I'm in a coma on Sunday sleeping, and you're having fun.
We got Affleck. Give me the teams. Come on, you haven't seen this today.
I have no idea.
Give me the teams. Come on.
The last 12 seasons.
Let me give you a
Florida
guess.
State.
We're doing Virginia Tech, Maryland.
Florida State, Virginia Tech.
Good.
Miami.
Where do I live?
Michigan Wolverines.
All right, here's the answer. Come on.
What do you got?
Enough.
What do you have?
Enough.
Florida State, Michigan. Tennessee Vols, big game this week in Tuscaloosa.
Nice shot by you.
And Virginia Tech.
It was nice.
Banging out a few.
That's good. 99 yards of field in front of him. Vick runs. Imoh! Oh, the ball is outside the goal line. Not a safety. It's where the ball is, not the guy. Imoh did a great job of reaching out to keep it away from a safety.
You know what's happening right now is you have a Terp defense. There's Gary Blackney in a white shirt. You have a Terp defense gaining confidence as this game goes on. They're attacking Virginia Tech. Kershaw right there. Boy, what a play. And that's how you attack the line of scrimmage. Kershaw comes right through. Imoh incredibly fortunate to get that ball away from the goal line and out of the end zone.
Being reviewed. This is the first safety review I've seen.
Reviewed?
Yeah.
Previous play is under review.
When his knee comes down, where is the ball? Is any point of the ball, and so often you're looking at the front of the ball, where's the back of the ball? Is the back of the ball clear of the end zone? If not, it's a safety. Ralph Friedgen's looking up at the replay screen to see if he gets a look, and they're showing highlights. And the explanation of instant replay. Here's some looks.
Great point, Mike, about his knee and where the ball is.
The angle that will show it will be the one that Mike Schwab will get up in the truck for us next, and Phil Orland's our producer. We'll look, see where the knee is when he comes down. That ball is forward. Now remember, there has to be...
You're saying the entire football needs to be out?
Yep.
Not just the front point, but the entire football.
Because some of the ball will be over the goal line. Knee down there, he's reaching forward. I think that is not indisputable video evidence to change the call. So I think it'll stand.
Last one was a great look.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Kershaw comes in there like a bullet to make this play.
Knee down, where's the ball? Here's the answer.
After review,
stands.
The play stands is called on the field.
Let me just remind you, too, that the angle you were seeing there was not straight down the goal line. It was about a yard behind, so the appearance will even be more accurate to the argument that it was out of the end zone.
Mike, we have 15 seconds here. Clock is running out. Keep in mind, they're going to go to the other end of the field, right in the middle of the student section, if they don't get out of this hole right here.
And if they don't run this play before the quarter ends, too. Vick out of the end zone, complete to Jesse Allen, the fullback. Gets his second reception of the year. Third down coming up when we begin the fourth quarter. 14-3 for number 3.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
No, I'm just online paying the credit card bill.
What?
No, I'll be home soon.
We don't want a late fee. Honey, I told you late fees can't be.
I saw this before.
That's the last one, man. Let's go.
Sometimes you can't help paying late. Avoid late fees with the new Citi Simplicity card. No late fees when you make a purchase each billing period. Citi. Live richly.
Dan Marino!
Who wants to go deep?
I do. That's why we created Papa John's new Perfect Pan Pizza.
Introducing the big taste of Papa John's Pan Pizza. A zesty Robusto sauce with garlic and spices. A new thick golden crust made deep and square so we can pile on the toppings. Get a large pan pizza with up to 5 toppings for just $12.99. We deliver. Call now or order at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, and now better pan.
Papa John's!
What started me in my work? I was determined to test the fabric of human nature. I've never murdered anyone. The decisions are up to them.
He's testing us!
Who's testing us?
He's a serial killer. You have to play by the rules!
I'm gonna get out of here.
It's not a good idea.
Those who don't appreciate life do not deserve life. Do you appreciate yours?
Saw 2, rated R, in theaters October 28th.
Protect this house!
You beat the big guys every year. You know they can't touch you. They know they can't touch you. How does the team stay motivated?
If you don't get motivated when you put on the armor, then you ain't got a pulse, man.
It's 4th down. The ball sits at the Under Armour 10-yard line. Goliath down to its last shot.
We must protect this house!
When we got married, suddenly we had 2 of everything.
They had a lot of stuff.
2 dinette sets, 2 dogs.
2 car insurance companies.
I'm State Farm agent Joan Roysum, and this is a true story.
We had to get rid of a few things.
Yeah, mainly my things.
He had State Farm.
She had a gecko.
I helped them compare rates and coverage.
It was no comparison.
He was right. For once.
This time, one of my things stayed.
Last year, 1.3 million drivers switched to State Farm. Call an agent today and you'll switch too.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
What you need is the multitasking.
Okay.
It's like a bunch of tools all in one. It has an air grip base, so you can use it as a laser level to help you hang pictures. It's got a nice work light, and it even helps you hold stuff.
So what you're saying is I don't need him.
The Ryobi Multitasket, just $49.97. Right now, get 10% off any purchase when you open a Home Depot credit card account.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Great atmosphere tonight in College Park. Off we go to the fourth quarter with Aaron Andrews, Kirk Herbstreit, Mike Tirico. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires. Virginia Tech's turned it over 4 times, keeping Maryland in. Hokies trying to stay perfect. This is 3rd and 3. from Virginia Tech's own 8. Vick, run, first down, 19-yard line. Crowd quiet.
That's one way to take the crowd out, is setting up Marcus Vick for a play, and this is designed for him to be able to make a play with his feet. We talk so much, and Branden, look at that hold there, look at that tackle.
That's why Ralph was so upset.
By Jason Murphy. We talk so much about Marcus and how he sits in the pocket, and he's a great quarterback with his patience, but he also can hurt you, as we've seen all night tonight, by also running with that football.
He's run for 5 of their 17 first downs. Imoh carries to the 22, or we'll go check in with Reese Davis, see what's cooking. Reese?
All right, Mike, singular All-America Player of the Week is Vince Young of Texas. 25 of 29, 336 yards, couple of touchdowns, ran for 3 more against Colorado. You can get involved every week. Just text the word VOTE to 87654 on your singular wireless phone. You might win a trip to the national championship game.
Right now, everybody wants to talk Heisman Trophy, and I'm headed to Austin, but right now, Reggie Bush. Let's say it again. Reggie Bush, number 5 at USC, the Heisman frontrunner in my mind, with Vince Young at number 2.
Here is Imoh, pulled down. Looked like it was a face mask the way his head turned around. The Virginia Tech side thought so, but David Holloway brings him down. Both third and a couple of coming up. I was in Austin.
Yeah.
He's number 10, right?
Yes.
Well, I saw number 10 in the burnt orange, live and in color with my own eyes.
Yeah.
You see, he didn't grab him by the face mask, just grabbed him by the neck. He's so short.
Right.
I saw 10 in the burnt orange with my own eyes. Let me tell you, he's good.
Oh, I know that. No, is he good? Is 10 good in burnt orange?
He's really good.
He's beyond good.
And he's a
but
great
Reggie
kid.
Bush might be one of the best college players we've ever seen.
Watch the play clock here. Getting the timeout before the 25 expires. Marcus Vick trying to remain undefeated, 7-0 as a starter.
So 10's good.
Oh, in the burnt orange?
I got to see him in person.
Live and in color?
Live and in color in person this week? All right, go check him out.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Hey, Mambo! Mambo Italiano, you must go, 'cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood. Want to learn about all the new TVs? Circuit City makes it simple. Come to Circuit City this Sunday from 1 to 6 p.m. for our Home Entertainment Made Simple event. Get product demos on HD TV, home audio, and more, and talk to our experts about building the perfect home theater. Plus, get no interest until January 2007 on all TVs $299 and up. The Home Entertainment Made Simple event, this Sunday at Circuit City.
How'd you learn to pour like that?
Huh? It was nothing.
Put on side, no good. Put on center, the release combination and aroma. Again! 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 Pour down center.
Welcome back. Next up, it's the 2006 Dodge Charger.
It's the RT with a 340-horse Hemi, 18-inch alloys, muscular styling.
I particularly like this razor edging along here. Even the interior looks straight out of the custom shop.
75.
No, it's actually around 26.
Nicely equipped from the factory. Charger SXT.
I'll take it.
Unleashed. Now get the Dodge Advantage, including $500 bonus cash allowance that gets you a 2006 Charger for under 26 grand.
Let's see how the jacked up right guard extreme power stripe works now that it's 25% stronger. Let's say these guys are the power stripe. Red Rover, we call T over! And this guy's odor. You do not want to be odor. Get more extreme, get right guard!
Choosing a new low-cost internet service? Check this out. With Netscape's new Web Accelerator, I can surf up to 5 times faster than standard dial-up. And with Netscape, I get Web Accelerator for just $9.95.
That works for me.
Get Netscape with new Web Accelerator and surf up to 5 times faster for just $9.95. Or customize your service for just a few dollars more.
Choose Netscape with new Web Accelerator for just $9.95.
It's just the net you need.
Well, this is a sellout crowd. They have found every possible seat. How about these folks? All Virginia Tech fans, by the way. What are you seeing of tonight's game? Oh, good for you people. That's why Tech has become such a special place. What great support. Third and a couple. Run with 5. Marcus Vick, the edge, the secondary. First down, midfield, pick up a 23. On a night for the first time, he's run for over 100. Marcus continues to add on. They know it's a first down there.
He was running right towards them. This time, Holloway, the outside linebacker, gets up in the line of scrimmage, tries to get to the outside, but watch Jeff King push him, and watch the read by Marcus Vick. He wants to go out wide, but he cuts it underneath because King just took Holloway all the way to the line of scrimmage and gave Marcus Vick a nice seam to cut up underneath.
Marcus has 330 of the 387 Virginia Tech yards here on the night. Mike Imoh stops and starts, goes forward, gets 3. We mentioned it earlier for those of you just tuning in. Cedric Humes, the other veteran running back, broke his right arm against Marshall, had surgery the next day, brought on the trip by Frank Beamer, and Virginia Tech hopes to have him back next Thursday night when we join you from Blacksburg as Boston College comes into Lane Stadium.
What an attitude he runs with. And last year, Cedric Humes and Mike Imoh, late in the year when they went to the Orange Bowl and beat Miami, Cedric Humes had a lot to do with their productivity running the football.
Now it's Imoh carrying the load tonight, turning the corner, first down to the 33. It seems like he has a lot more yards than he does on the evening. 14 important ones there as he gets over 50 for the night. But they've been grinding 15 carries, 53 yards.
2 things are standing out to me right now. Number 1, this Maryland defense can't keep doing it. They've created 4 turnovers tonight against a Virginia Tech offense that came into the night only having 2 turnovers in 6 games. Tonight, Maryland's created 4. And they have only 3 points to show for it. So how many times can Gary Blackney's defense continue to make plays? And the other thing is, maybe Virginia Tech is starting to wear down this Maryland front 7.
This drive started at the 1. We'll end with a touchdown to David Clowney. Flag, pass interference, 15 yards. And Maryland, well, won't see, was complaining by the secondary man, but I think it was clearly on the defense. They'll take the ball down to the 18-yard line.
Mike, remember when we talked about how Wilson got away with one earlier when he got his arm up and knocked it down and Clowney was complaining?
Pass interference. Defense. Number 4.
This time it's payback. This time it's payback on Wilson because I think Clowney, once they got their arms tangled, he realized that he could probably get the call by locking on to him. I think he may have locked on to Wilson, and looking at their momentum and the way their bodies were tangled up, it looks like Wilson's the guilty party, but when in reality, I think it was Clowney pulling him in. 1 for 1 there.
Back in the red zone, Imoh. Good job. That's when they say a running back has good vision. That was a great look from Skycam of what good vision's all about.
Maryland has tried to rotate defensive linemen to trying to stay fresh, but this is a physical offensive line from Virginia Tech. And great vision, nice job of seeing the hole, cutting it back. But Mike, I'm reminded of what Rich Rodriguez and West Virginia did to Maryland, eventually running for over 300 yards, and it was that 4th quarter where they just wore down. And I'm wondering if we're starting to see some signs of that.
From the 10, Imoh up the middle, touchdown! A 99-yard drop.
This defense has played their tails off, but I think they're running out of gas emotionally, and I think they're running out of gas physically. And they just happen to be going up against one of the most well-conditioned teams, not only in the ACC, Mike, but in the country.
Pace, 32nd extra point of the season. And you only get so many chances when the other team's more talented. And finally, talent takes over. Ralph Friesian wanted some holding calls, wanted a pass interference call. But Mike Imoh and the Hokies, 10 plays, 99 yards, and up 18.
This guy just went to 5 bowl games in 1 week. Of course, he forgot his sunscreen for the first 2 and lost his voice by the 4th game. The worst part of all, his girlfriend dumped him when he got back because he didn't tell her he was going in the first place. So tell me, was it worth it? Oh yeah! Enter to win Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour, and you and 3 friends could be headed to 5 bowl games in 1 week on a private jet. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. Who knows? This could be you.
It's the Dodge Model Year-End Clearance. Your last chance to grab an 05 with the Dodge Advantage. We've still got a lot of 05s, but not for long. Save on the Hemi-powered Ram, the all-new Dakota with best-in-class interior room, and Durango with a 5-star frontal crash test rating. Now get the Dodge Advantage, including up to $5,500 combined cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months. See your Dodge dealer today or visit Dodge.com. Hurry, because once the Dodge you want is gone, it's gone.
Singular customers text CITY to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
No. I'd like to redeem my credit card miles. No.
Okay.
Oh, Chubsy, come on. The answer's always...
No!
That's right.
Ow! No!
I'm not hearing it.
No! No!
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates. Check your mailbox for details.
I should have worked at Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
No!
Soto and Partners.
McPhee and Associates.
This is Al.
King Brokers.
Hello.
Hi.
Now with free incoming plans from Sprint Business, it's easier to say yes when customers call. And with our buy one, get one free deal, you and your company can say yes. Sprint Business gives you free incoming calls from all phones, all networks, all the time. So you can make just about any place a workplace. Call 877-63-SPRINT or visit a Sprint or Nextel store today. Sprint Business. Yes, you can.
Unless you're a Maryland fan, what you just saw is pretty neat. He obviously ties a school record for the longest drive ever. It's been done a bunch of times before, but 99-yard drives that are 10 plays in the 4th quarter send messages too. And that was a message sent mostly by Marcus Vick and Mike Imoh on that drive. Imoh had 7 of the carries for 43 yards. Vick hit a couple of big plays, and it's 21-3.
It's nice to see Mike Imoh back and playing after missing the Marshall game, and just looks like he's getting stronger as this night has gone on.
JoJo Walker picked it up as it bounced and is swarmed over by Hokies. Back inside the 15, Orion Martin among those down there. Now, first ones are out. The Bowl Championship Series standings presented by Allstate. There you see the 5 unbeatens at the top with Georgia and Bama behind SC, Texas, and Va Tech. Then you drop down to Texas Tech, playing Texas this week, and UCLA at number 9. With the 1-loss teams in there, LSU, Miami, and Penn State.
I think 2 of your top 7 there go down this weekend.
Whoa, 2?
Yeah,
2. One's obviously going to be Texas or Texas Tech. Hollenbach on first down. To the air, caught by Vernon Davis. Swarmed by the Hokies. Gain of 2. Here's Aaron.
Guys, you mentioned watching that great football weekend with USC and Notre Dame, and like you said, Mike, a lot of these Virginia Tech players sat back and watched that as well, and it was interesting. And Kirk, I know you can add more to this. They didn't want USC to lose to Notre Dame. These guys want to play USC. They, of course, don't want to be the Auburn that's left out of the championship game, but they want to play USC. And Kirk, you said that's what they need to do.
And you know what, EA? This is a team that went 4 quarters with USC to open up the season last year and surprised a lot of people. They want another shot at the Trojans.
2nd and 7. Hollenbach throws high and incomplete, and they went 4 quarters with undefeated Auburn. I saw that at the Sugar Bowl. Did that game. They were physically in that game with a very impressive Auburn team right throughout. Remember, their losses last year to 2 of the unbeatens at the end, SC and Auburn, and by 1 point on a long missed field goal to NC State at home early in the season. That's how good they were last year. They're rolling again.
It's going to take a USC or a Texas loss, realistically, for Virginia Tech, I think, to jump over top of Texas or USC. They could be this year's Auburn.
Hollenbach throws for Davis, incomplete. And we'll have 4th down and a punt coming up with 9:47 to go. We'll talk about undefeated. So you can only get a maximum of 4 teams all the way through undefeated because Texas Tech play this weekend. Georgia and Bama could meet on December 3rd in the SEC title game. USC and UCLA wrap up the season December 3rd in a regular season Pac-10 game. So you could have 4 unbeatens. That's the most possible.
I think we end up with 3 at the end of the year.
Really?
Virginia Tech, Texas, and USC.
Eddie Royal from the 44. Returns it right up the middle. No messing around. It was a solid return for great field position. A return of 19 after the punt of 42. Let's remind you about what we have Saturday night. You see the Big Ten and the SEC in primetime on our networks, ESPN2 and HD. Penn State has its bounce back in Champaign against Ron Zook and the Fighting Illini, and our primetime game presented by Polaroid here on ESPN and ESPN HD. Auburn and LSU at 7:45 Eastern.
Number 7 in the BCS standings, I believe, is LSU.
6 in the BCS.
Number 6, okay.
7 in the coaches poll.
All right.
And the AP and the Harris poll as well.
It's the team that I think could have their hands full this weekend against Auburn, even though the game is at Tiger Stadium. Really looking forward. We're going to find out how good Auburn is this weekend.
Auburn coming in off the 17-point win over Arkansas, the big win over South Carolina. 5-1, the only loss in the opener to Georgia Tech. First down toss to Josh Morgan, rolling over people. A flag comes in as well as he goes down at the 23-yard line.
Josh Morgan's physical. 6'1", 215 pounds. But he's looking to punish defensive backs when they come up to tackle him.
As soon as the call is done, Reese Davis will have a SportsCenter 30 at 30.
All right, Mike, Chiefs and Dolphins are going to play on Friday night because Hurricane Wilma has now turned toward Florida. Expected somewhere around Monday, but they want to try to play the game before the hurricane arrives, if in fact it does. And also Leo Mazzoni, the longtime Braves pitching coach, apparently going to join his buddy Sam Perlazzo as the manager of the Orioles. Orioles and Braves still working out compensation before that deal is finalized. SportsCenter after the game, ESPN News all the time for more on those stories, guys.
Thank you, Reese. We appreciate it. So the offensive face mask, the 5-yard penalty, takes it back. But it is a first down because first down occurred, then the flag was thrown.
You know, we were talking about I think 3 teams at the end of the year. I just think that Boston College is a great team, but going to Lane Stadium will be tough next week. Miami coming to Lane Stadium against Virginia Tech will be tough. I think the only time you can get Virginia Tech this year is to get them away from home.
And they go to Virginia, their in-state rival, in a couple of weeks. Well, a couple of weeks after that, I should say, or with the carry. That's November 19th. So they have a week off after Miami before they go to Virginia. Then play North Carolina. And oh, by the way, there is the ACC championship game this year.
ACC championship game against either Boston College or Florida State. And that could be a game where Virginia Tech down in Jacksonville. I just honestly, Mike, to see them, this is one of those years when you have to be a lot better than the Hokies when you have to go to Blacksburg. It reminds me of the '99 team that went to the Sugar Bowl to play Florida State.
Good running here by the freshman Ore. Goes inside the 20, picks up another first down. You know, Frank Beamer and Ralph Friedgen have been good friends over the years and got to know each other. Frank just turned 59 on Monday, and he received a contract as Ralph has built this program, and it says, I want to do what Frank's done on the other side. Frank has built a tremendous program. Well, a contract extension came for Frank Beamer. Not that he was going to go anywhere, but a $2 million deal signed that takes him out to 2013 with a couple of options after that as well. But that deal could have been done a lot earlier. months earlier, as a matter of fact. Carry by Ore. This running back showing some good stuff to at the 12-yard line. But what Frank Beamer did was he waited and essentially held out until Virginia Tech came through with more money for his assistant coaches, who have been extraordinarily loyal. And a lot of those coaches, although they're not looking for the grandstanding moment of having their name attached to it, said, that's the kind of guy I work for. I work for the best coach in the country because he is so loyal. He didn't want to take the money until he was sure that we were going to get money as a staff.
Well, I think that's why coaches stick around and want to be a part of this program, not just because of competing for championships, but because of the way they're treated and the loyalty that their head coach shows them year in and year out.
Or fresh legs as a runner gets the first down to the 8-yard line. Talking about longevity, we saw Billy Height, who went to high school here in the D.C. area, so he's had a very popular week visiting old friends. It's just some of those coaches who've been here all the way through this remarkable run. There's Bud Foster.
Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator. Mike, when it's not just numbers, you see 28, 19, 12, 10, 10. It's the continuity, and it's the understanding of what Frank Beamer wants. And it's a family atmosphere. It's as much a family atmosphere in Blacksburg as any other staff or any other school that I've seen in the country.
Nice work here for Branden Ore as he gets it inside the 5-yard line down to the 4. Halfway through this fourth quarter with a reminder that SportsCenter comes up as soon as we're done here in College Park.
You and I were talking about the recruiting base in the state of Virginia and how Al Groh has come to Charlottesville in the last 5 or 6 years. They've been able to recruit some great players in the state, but I think you'll still find, now that the dust has settled, Virginia Tech still is doing not only well, but still doing very well in the Tidewater area, which is probably the richest area for high school football in the state of Virginia, and they continue to get those majority of the top 20 to top 25 players year in and year out in that state.
Second and goal. So much good running on the last 2 drives. Orr caps it off with a touchdown. His 3rd of the season.
Mike, this looks like we just talked about it last drive. It looks like a completely different Maryland defense. And it's because they're getting worn down, and it's because Virginia Tech keeps getting stronger and keeps putting on more pressure up front. DeQuell Jackson's frustrated right now. His group they've played so well, but these last 2 drives, you've seen the wear and tear of what happens when you play the Hokies and how physical it can become in the fourth quarter.
Extra point is added, 28-3. So all the opportunities that went away, they're paying off on. And the redshirt freshman out of that great fertile Tidewater area, out of Chesapeake, Branden Ore, all 6 carries, all 38 yards, and the touch.
Coming up on SportsCenter, who Matt Leinart feels deserves the Heisman, and it's not himself. What the Eagles D must do to stop LT in the top plays in college football's first half.
That's SportsCenter tonight.
SportsCenter after the game.
Listen up. It's Sunday NFL Countdown. 2 Cowboys face off.
Dallas doesn't have a #1 receiver. That's exactly what I said.
That's questioning whether or not we can play.
And he's 6-0 and wired for sound. Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
It's the Dodge Model Year-End Clearance. Your last chance to grab an 05 with the Dodge Advantage. We've still got a lot of 05s, but not for long. Save on the Hemi-powered Ram, the all-new Dakota with best-in-class interior room, and Durango with a 5-star frontal crash test rating. Now get the Dodge Advantage, including up to $5,500 combined cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months. See your Dodge dealer today or visit Dodge.com. Hurry, because once the Dodge you want is gone, it's gone.
Drink variety. Sonic's got it, others don't. Make Sonic your morning drink stop with our refreshing new low-calorie Diet Cherry Lemonade. Try one today, or any of our thousands of other drink flavor combinations. And now, swipe your card from your car, only at Sonic.
On DVD, their mission, protect the last of the living from the living dead.
Hear that? There's nothing there, man.
On the unrated director's cut of George A. Romero's Land of the Dead on DVD now.
Think about your family as a company.
The Clark family has reported earnings 30
with assets to protect and grow, a financial future to be managed.
Family at 12 1/4.
At John Hancock, we now offer you a wider range of innovative investment opportunities with access to some of the world's best companies for the benefit
The Peterson family ended the day on a positive note.
of the most important one. The new John Hancock. Investments for the opportunities. Insurance for the unexpected.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. And in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Back here in College Park, the Sports Center is on the way, but business mostly done by Virginia Tech. 28-3 the score. The Hokies on their way to improving to 7-0. We see them next Thursday night against Boston College. Short kickoff, fielded by Derrick Fenner, brought down at the 32-yard line by Brett Warren. Now, while we were away after the touchdown, I want to show you Dequel Jackson, the leader of this Maryland defense. Encircled by the entire defense. Look at the passion. This guy's been on the field for almost every one of these 67 plays.
This is a guy that talked to us yesterday and had a look in his eye about trying to avenge last year's embarrassment to Virginia Tech and Blacksburg.
Look at those other eyes. Look at those
That's their leader.
Team. Yeah.
That's their leader, and he is upset because in the last two drives, we've not seen the same fight from the Maryland defense that we've seen the entire game. And he doesn't want to go down. If they're going to lose the game, let's not give up here in these last few minutes of the fourth quarter.
And, you know, it's very easy to look at that and say, well, there's just a guy who's calling attention to himself. That is not him. He is not one of those bravado show guys. That is all raw, pure emotion of a guy who is as good a linebacker. And we say that there's so many good linebackers in the country, but he's proven it year after year after year. It won't be the 55 points that Virginia Tech hung up on them last year, but it'll hurt just as much.
And he's not a guy that now that the game's out of reach is trying to just be a crazy guy on the sideline. Mike, he's played his heart out tonight and made so many big plays. I think he's just upset and being one of the leaders of the way Maryland's defense played the last two drives. And when the team was walking off the field after the extra point, he was starting it right there, his tirade, and it followed him all the way to the bench when the entire defense circled around him. He told us yesterday this game against Virginia Tech isn't only important for this program right now this year. I'm talking to the younger players about what this game could mean for them by building this program back up. This is a great opportunity for all of us.
Jimmy Williams cramping up there, so he's being checked on by the Virginia Tech medical staff. You know, we talked about the ties that bind these two coaches, Ralph Friedgen and Frank Beamer, going back to when they started. They were graduate assistants here at Maryland in 1972. They coached together at the Citadel from 73 to 78. At Murray State in 1981, when Ralph got the opportunity. Here's a picture from them at Maryland. There's Ralph on the left side, Frank kneeling down on the right. When the first opportunity for Frank to become a head coach came at Murray State, he brought in as his assistant head coach, Ralph Friedgen. Hollenbach's throw is incomplete, nearly intercepted by Vince Hall, to the point that when their kids were born, they and their wives, obviously, were together in the same Lamaze class. And Shane Beamer, who you may have heard us talk about often, Frank's son, who's an assistant coach at Mississippi State, and Ralph's daughter, Kelly, they were both products of the same Lamaze class. These guys have known each other so long. And I can tell you, after knowing these guys for more than a decade now, when we talked about the 55-6 game last year with both of these guys, their body language changed. They were uncomfortable with the way that game went last year. Not that you don't want to beat a guy, but it was just an embarrassing low moment for Ralph. And Frank, because he's a friend, didn't enjoy seeing another friend suffer.
No, he didn't, but I thought that I think you and I were wondering at the time when it was it 38-3, and so much was made last year about the timeouts before the half when Frank Beamer was trying to get into a field goal range up 38-3, and Ralph Friedgen called 2 timeouts to freeze the kicker from Virginia Tech, and there's not any animosity after that game last year.
Hollenbach is sacked back at the 40-yard line. The pressure first came from Chris Ellis. Jonathan Lewis gets the credit. He should share. There's a flag 30 yards away from the play as Roland Minor got involved in some post-play with JoJo Walker, the receiver for Maryland. Or Danny Melendez, beg your pardon.
I just caught the tail end of it, Mike. It was way downfield, and I saw Roland Minor clapping his hands as if it's going to be on Maryland, but we'll have to see if it goes both ways. No, Minor gets caught. He just wants to know, who was it?
Dead ball, personal foul, number 15, defense, 15 yards,
yeah, that's
automatic first down.
Bud's trying to get eye contact with Minor. He's trying to weave through the bottom. Let me see your eyes there, 15. He found him. He found him.
He just got the eyes. That's right. It's like he's looking at one of his kids, trying to give him the look.
What, have you seen that look before?
Oh, my kids have seen that look a lot.
Final 4.5 here. Tech will go to 7-0. Maryland's 3-game win streak that close to coming to an end. Hollenbach to Melendez out of bounds at the 39. Has hit Melendez's roommate 4 times and Vernon Davis 4 times tonight. Vernon 4 catches, 48 yards. He's our Applebee's hometown hero. That yards per reception has come down a little bit. It started the night over 20, now at 19.2, but Vernon has been a difference maker. 158 yards against West Virginia, 140 against Clemson. Guy's 4.4 speed. 4.4.
You know, he came in as a receiver and has just gotten so big and so physical. He's developed into one of the best tight ends in the country. When you have a 40-inch vertical and you have 4.41 speed, and you're 6'3", about 255 pounds, and you're starting to understand defenses and how to run routes, you're a pretty interesting prospect for the NFL.
Did you give his body fat? Did you see that?
Does he have body fat? I didn't.
3%. It was 3%. Then in his time here, he has gained 31 pounds, and he's the same body fat. How does that happen?
He has every record up on the board, too, in the weight room for Maryland's tight ends in the history of this program.
From the 33, Lance Paul down the sideline. First down, careful. Ooh. Dangerous over there as the play continues. The flag is thrown. Hopefully the person working on the sidelines is okay as well. She looks to be.
I know EA was pretty impressed with Vernon Davis yesterday, talking with him, and how much time he's spent in the weight room. Boy, what a shot there.
Clearing everything out, see what's going on. This will be on Virginia Tech again. Go ahead, Aaron.
I was impressed, you guys, with Vernon Davis. Hey, I was ready to go. I think there was some sort of technical difficulties or something. 31 pounds of muscle he put on, guys. And I know...
Yeah, you called me out of the bullpen to check out that right tricep, and I didn't know if I was checking out the ink.
Well, let's explain what's happening. He had a huge tattoo on that tricep.
So was it the ink?
Pull it up.
Was it the ink you wanted me to notice, or the
Herbie, let's be honest. We can see those triceps right there. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's that right arm you told me to take a look at. Yeah, he's put together.
The coaches said it best. Freak of nature, guys.
Yeah, You're right, Aaron. Timeout taken here by Bud Foster, Frank Beamer, and Virginia Tech. They've picked up 30 yards of personal foul penalties here on this drive. They said, hey, wait a minute, enough's enough here. Let's stop the clock and get everybody on the line with 3:48. Speaking of Vernon Davis,
in the
why don't you check out his strength coach taking us through the Vernon accomplishments.
The record boards are a very important aspect of our program because of the motivation they provide for our players. I mean, to get on that board is just a huge honor. It's something that keeps us going 12 months out of the year. And Vernon Davis has made a mockery of these record boards. Vernon's up here on his tight end board, all-time and current he's got all 6 categories, and not really one situation there is anybody even close to him in second place. He's come in 3 consecutive test periods, he's rebroken every record that he already set since he was the spring of his freshman year.
I'll tell you what was more impressive is watching you and Vernon yesterday in the weight room pump the iron.
Me? Yeah, it was impressive, wasn't it?
You were going.
I didn't want to show him up. I just tried to shut it down a little bit.
No, I mean, you were right there with him.
They're all his numbers. You know what the best part of this whole deal is? You know what his major is?
What's that?
His major is?
What's that?
Art.
How about that?
Not many art majors that would look like that.
No, and he can get into male modeling when he gets done playing football if he'd like. I mean, he is really physically gifted.
There's his ball, taking it down to the 3-yard line with that first down run with 3:40 left.
I'd like to have seen him get an opportunity to make a few more plays tonight.
Well, it's the one thing with Virginia Tech. They're so athletic and so good at the linebacking core with speed that they can use that plus their safeties and everybody else to match up on a tight end that other teams just can't do.
Virginia Tech right now is frustrating me from up here. I can't imagine being Bud Foster. They just need to play football. They're too good a team to get caught up in any of these penalties, personal foul penalties, games out of reach, show some class, win the game, and get out of town.
Hollenbach driven to the ground by Vince Hall, who's had a terrific game tonight at the 10-yard line. Clock will run inside of 3 minutes until Sports Center.
Sure, that'll be the message between now and the time we see the Hokies next week in Blacksburg against Boston College on Thursday night. Bud Foster, I'm sure, will take this drive alone, and they'll learn more from this drive than they probably will the rest of the game.
Hollenbach has been sacked twice and is 2 of 9 here in the last 20 minutes. You know, everywhere Virginia Tech goes in the ACC. Well, this is interesting here. Ron Cherry has brought Darryl Tapp and Hollenbach together. They throw guys out of the game if more of this happens. So bring the veterans back and go tell your team. That is a great piece of officiating by Ron Cherry. At the end of the game, stop messing around. Play hard.
Somebody needs to get Jimmy Williams. He's dancing out here on the outside. Somebody needs to get that message to him.
They can get a first down at the 1. Hollenbach buys time, throws to the end zone, touchdown. Derrick Fenner gets his first touchdown of the season. See if they'll take a peek at this. Had a possession with the ball in the end zone, and they're going to go for 2 at 28-9.
Like how many personal fouls on that drive? 2 by Virginia Tech? 30?
Davis, the tight end we talked about, lines up closest to you. And the 3 receivers are to the right. Davis is blocking as Hollenbach sizzles one in there, but Melendez couldn't squeeze it, and it remains 28-9. So it remains 19.